this on the road. Let's get it started. Put it up. Let it be. How it go. Mark can just message me. Honestly, I really hope it doesn't fall off. It suck that I started playing. What's it called? What's that thing? I don't know. So like 40k. It really suck at 40k. Dude. The second that but, you know, we'll see when I make it. Street 5, third. I don't know what game we're gonna play tonight. You start and I feel asleep. Yeah, sorry, I was busy editing the video today, and I'm gonna be debating the debate I care about anyway. Oh, there's no biggie. No biggie. I can't wait to play 40K. So excited. Dude, I found out my GPU. It's not actually white. Somebody painted it white. So I'm a little worried now. But yeah, we'll see. It should be fun. As long as it fucking works, right? As long as the guy just didn't spray it, putting it back together after he painted it. But yeah. Getting going. Your both chats? Perfect.
Percent now.
5 minutes. Well, I appreciate that, Harkin. Sorry for fucking leaving you high and dry. Didn't mean to do late stream, but no biggie. Is it really? The first one was fucking amazing. So if it's half as good as the first one, it's pretty good. So we're gonna be doing the debate tonight. We're gonna react to it. We're gonna give some feedback for you finished the first one? No. I just played a little bit.
Of living affordable, and that is what they want to hear
Thanks,
tonight
Donnie.
from the nominees. Who
Thanks,
has that
Donnie.
plan,
Okay,
Martha?
bye now. Thanks, Donnie.
Thanks so much, Rebecca. It's something I hear from voters all over the country. That's what they want to
Thanks,
talk
Donnie.
about. That's what they want to hear. Kamala Harris.
Not even
knows
long
that she
enough.
is vulnerable.
Yeah, and she knows that this is top of mind for so many of those voters, and that she is
You know, I'm
walking
glad
this
you all
fine line, as
fucking
Rebecca
going to
described.
bed.
She's
See
proud
how
of her
fuck
record
up
with
the-
Joe Biden, the
Take over the
Bidenomics
stream
record,
while I'm
but she
trying to
knows she
react to
has
this.
to build on that and
Thank
make clear
God.
to voters
Thank God you're all
what she
fucking
would do
go to bed.
differently, how she would make a difference in their actual wallets. It's one of the few policy areas that she's gone into the most detail of so
much
far.
better? I
She knows
heard there's
she has
a
to
little bit
continue
of,
to make that argument.
And Rachel, Donald Trump
from
has
watching
just seized on this
Watching
issue
Charlie's
again
video
and
on it.
again, over and over.
Again and again, and for good reason, because you just heard from Rebecca there. This is the single most important issue to voters, and he does have an edge on Vice President Kamala Harris in poll after poll. It's a big reason why his advisors want him to focus on the issue.
Yes, isn't it?
What the hell did
You're
I put in
asking
the
this very
song? Oh
easy.
my God, it's that song first I put in my
Tonight,
accident
not the
yesterday.
Fran.
Well, you know, John, as of right now, we have seen the encounter numbers declining since June. That is when we saw President Biden come in with that executive order, basically shutting down the border between the ports of entry. A lot of agents, a lot of law enforcement that I've been speaking with along the border, they say as of right now, things are quiet and manageable. And then you add to that the tighter asylum restrictions and then the summer heat, and things are considerably different than what we saw in places like El Paso, where we're standing right now, in comparison to what we saw last year, right? The thing about immigration is it is an unknown for most of America, and that generates a lot of
That'd be
fear
nice.
in people, which is why this has become a very
There we go. Now I
hot
can fix
topic. When we saw Trump on the border in Arizona a
almost
few weeks
good.
ago, he laid out
That's
part of
close
his
enough.
plan, talking about tighter restrictions and penalties as part of what he wants to do if he's elected. On the other side of it, we haven't heard much from Harris when it comes to her immigration plan, other than she would try and resurrect that border security bill that was torpedoed right now. Listen, we have talked to
Yeah, the
voters.
only one
They
I think
want
I
facts,
have
they
seen
want
is,
policy, they want strategy.
There's not
John?
like, different guys.
And look, Trump's been taking a hard line on this issue for a long, long time, but an even harder line
Honestly,
this time
if I don't
than when he
finish the
first
campaign,
ran.
He is vowing mass deportations, and in a recent interview, he
fucking
suggested that he
fine.
would even use the National
Me.
Guard
Are you cool?
and even the military to target. We're talking
Ah,
about
Are you better? Thank you. Appreciate that, Hark. Harky boy. What did I even say? I said the if I don't finish the first game's campaign, I'll definitely finish it on my own Steam Deck. If I don't finish it on stream, but it's a fuck ton of fun, and I'm excited to play the second game. It's oodles of fun, as the kids say. Kids totally say. I finished the video of the whatever. I make some TikToks out of it. But I think it turned out alright. I think it's a pretty good video.
Okay, another key issue, crime and safety.
We'll see. See if it performs any. How's he allowed to campaign when he's committed a massive crime? Because, Donnie, it's actually not illegal to run a campaign after committing a crime. You can actually run from jail. That's what's great about America, is that criminals are not criminals. I mean, criminals are not persecute. I don't know. You can do whatever you want as a criminal. You know, you know, there's no limitations in America. We have freedom here. Even the imprisoned have freedom. Yeah, you can literally campaign from in prison. Like, you literally can just run for any office while in prison, which is awesome. Like, that's pretty lit. But, you know, I honestly, like, there is a law in the books that say if you are convicted of committing an insurrection or attempting to commit an insurrection, you're not allowed to run for president. So technically, he shouldn't be able to run for president because there is a law specifically for that. It's part of like the Civil War. But we're just gonna ignore that because, you know, who needs rules when you have fucking, I don't know, television? you can make shitty debates about it. I just realized my fucking handle on my thing shines the light off. It's super bright. Should cover it. Anyway, or how are you? Were you excited for the debate, Donnie? Are you excited to watch the shit show that is American politics? Honestly, it's make or break. I think it's personally my op on the situation is that it is Trump's campaign to lose, just because he's a man and Americans are fucking sexist and racist, and it will take a lot to convince the majority or of the moderate to vote for Kamala. So it really will depend how she does in this debate. If fucking, you know, Trump comes out swinging and starts hurling insults like he usually does, it honestly might play well, which is, it's just fucking annoying if that's the case. But we'll have to see. So it really will depend how Harris picks up momentum and how she reacts to the jabs and whatnot. But yeah, her talking points kind of suck, and I don't know if she's gonna like double down on them or if she's gonna give the American people anything to vote for versus voting against. But we'll see. We'll find out in about 37 minutes. But yeah, how's everyone's day? How's life? How's kids? How's the wife? How are things? Are we excited to watch the world end? Honestly, I don't think it's that deep. Not yet, anyway. Give it a week. Give it a month. Then it'll get real deep. Right now, it's just fucking a show. Alright, Night Hurricane. Have fun at school tomorrow. Or whatever you're doing. I will have a good stream, goddammit. Out of spite. Did my, did I really unmute it for an ad? It's in Philly. Man, I could have watched the debate. I could have went to Philly. I grew up near Philly. Damn it. If only I knew. But, yeah, I'm interested to see what she'll say. Honestly, like, her what's it called? Her, like, political, thing. What is it? Her outline of her positions, whatever that's called. It's just, it's literally just dropped, like, 2 days ago. And it's basically just saying, like, tax breaks and, yeah, that's about it. It's just, like, tax breaks and border control and shit. Basically, like, Trump plus. It's not great. It's really not. But we'll see. We'll see what she says. Honestly, it's just gonna be fucking either funny or frustrating. and very little of anything else. Or boring. You know, this could just be a shit show. Unwatchable. We'll see how bad it is. Honestly, we might just dip out if the fucking election the debate is that shit, which it could be. I mean, the Biden debate was unwatchable. that was fucking horrendous. So this could be another repeat of that. Hopefully not. Hopefully fucking Harris doesn't have a stroke on stage like Biden did. I mean, she is 60. I mean, that's not young. Like, she's not a spring chicken. But you know, fucking Trump is 76, 78. He's up there. He could easily stroke it out on stage. I'm sure he won't. I'm sure he's only taking like, you know, half as much cocaine as he's usually on. That way he doesn't, you know, immediately fucking die. But you know, again, we'll see. It could be anything. I don't know, because I know ABC's giving the whatever. I don't know what the other news networks are saying about anything. See if NBC is doing any decent commentary. Apparently not. Everyone's on ad break. Scam. The fucking PS5 Pro dropped. I heard that. I heard people are not happy about the price. It's like $700. So that's expensive. I don't plan on getting it.
I'm Mark.
What about you guys?
I'm excited to be here to talk about the newest addition to our console lineup, PlayStation 5 Pro, and how it advances gaming technology. But first, I want to take just a minute to look at what we put in the original PlayStation 5 and how it delivers an
Pretty sure you put a computer inside.
When PS5 debuted in 2020, it brought a lot to the table. 8 Zen 2 CPU cores form the brains of PlayStation 5 and enable high-speed complex gameplay, with character counts reaching into the hundreds and frame rates that can be as high as 120 frames a second.
Aren't like all the games
PS5 has a
had
powerful
problems at
RDNA
launch?
2 GPU, which can render anything from intricate details to fantastic worlds with vast panoramas
What game
to
is that?
explore.
Is that
Ray
Assassin's
tracing
Creed?
allows for
Is that
dramatic
the
visual
Samurai
improvements,
Assassin's
including
Creed?
reflections
I
off
didn't
of
know.
water or glass, and the realism that comes from real-time global.
Was that even ray
illumination.
tracing?
A custom
That did
SSD
not. Oop, move my camera on. That didn't even seem like a ray tracing
including
scene.
reflections off of water
Yeah, I guess off the
or
water.
glass, and the realism that comes from real-time global illumination. A custom SSD can load data at breathtaking speed, resulting in ultra-fast transitions between game worlds.
See, that didn't
and
need
data
to
streaming rates
actually
so
go
high
between
that
game
traversal
worlds. That could have
speeds are
just been like
essentially unlimited.
a effect.
Tempest 3D Audio Tech brings an unparalleled sense of immersion to
Wow,
the sound of
3D audio tech.
With audio so real,
Personally, I
you
like
may
my
not
games
even
with
need
no
to
audio.
see the enemies to know exactly where they are. Finally, the
that?
DualSense controller has haptics
Why do they
that let
label
you
like
feel
haptic
through
in-
your hands what your character is experiencing inside of the game.
Dude, shut
An
up.
aspect
Just
of
show me the
modern
new
gaming
console.
that we're all familiar with. Graphics modes. It can be a difficult choice for players. Fidelity modes emphasize the visuals, typically through higher resolution rendering. These modes might also have
mirror
enhanced
these games
detail
running like
or use
10
more
frames
ray
a second.
tracing. But the games only run at 30 frames per second.
Oh, it's
the
30.
visuals can be choppier,
basically
and the controls
garbage.
less responsive. Performance modes emphasize frame rate and interactivity, typically choosing to run at 60 frames per second. Mainly by reducing the graphical detail.
Are they just gonna be
until those
like, yeah,
frame
we're
rates
using
can be
DLSS.
achieved.
We're just upscaling everything.
When asked to decide on a mode, players are choosing performance about 3/4 of the time. Removing
yeah, no
that
shit.
decision, or at least narrowing that divide, is one of the key targets for PlayStation 5 Pro.
What?
We want
Removing
to
that
give
decision?
players the graphics that the game creators aspire to, at the high frame rates that players typically prefer.
This guy gives
To
such
do
fucking
that,
bad
PS5
vibes.
Pro substantially improves over PlayStation 5 in 3 ways.
Is he like
Here's
the
what
head
we
of the
call
US division
Big
of
Three.
fucking...
First, we
Me.
made the GPU
Sony.
much larger and increased the speed of the memory it uses. The result is rendering that's up to 45% faster. Second, we made major upgrades to the ray tracing, taking a streamlined and accelerated approach
Wow,
that
look at
allows
those traced
calculation of
rays.
the rays at
No
double
way.
or even triple the speeds of PlayStation 5.
That's because
And
ray tracing
finally,
was shit
we
on
added
PlayStation
custom
5.
hardware for machine learning, and an AI library called PlayStation Spectral Super Resolution.
So yeah,
or
there's using
PSSR
DLSS.
for short.
Oh my god, it's PSR,
analyzes
PSSR?
images
Is that
pixel by
DLSS?
pixel and can
Jesus
add
Christ.
an extraordinary amount of detail, which boosts the effective resolution of the games.
So you're just
Game
using
creators
DLSS.
are adding
Thanks.
PS5
Great.
Pro support to new and existing titles, and with the big three involved, the results can be pretty amazing, with graphics showing something like fidelity levels of detail, but at double the frame rate. Here's the
At what
Last
point
of
are
Us
we just
Part
going to
2
render like
running
one
on
frame
PS5
and the
Pro.
other 59 are going to be AI
It
generated?
has huge amounts of detail and targets a super smooth 60 frames per second. Let's compare this to the fidelity mode on PS5, which is only running at 30 frames per second and is therefore much choppier.
Yeah, no shit. It's half the frame rate.
This goal of delivering almost fidelity-like graphics at performance frame rates has been achieved for a broad set of titles, including Marvel's Spider-Man 2 and Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart. We can see that PS5 Pro is close to doubling the power of
Bro, you just
PlayStation
enabled
5.
DLSS. That's it.
Another way to compare the two consoles is to look at PS5
Oh my God, stop
Pro
using
versus
fucking
performance mode on PS5.
bots on my
both of which target
stream.
60 frames per
Leave
second.
me alone! I'm
What
not gonna
we
buy
see
your
here
stupid
is a difference
views.
in detail. PS5 Pro is much sharper and crisper than PS5. For this, my favorite is the parade scene. from
Dude, they made the
Ratchet &
Twitch
Clank.
shop show
Distant
shit.
details are much
I
clearer.
feel like I have such a bad fucking lisp today.
And here we can see Marvel's Spider-Man 2 is noticeably higher resolution throughout the scene, including the trees and procedural cars. So overall, some remarkable improvement to the games. On PS5 Pro, we can see increased sharpness to the graphics or smoother and more responsive gameplay.
This is the worst fucking demo I've ever seen in my life.
Targeted 60 frames per second.
Just tell me what the fuck is in the console. Give me a price point.
It'll be worth it.
Okay.
Why do they keep showing Ratchet & Clank? Didn't that game come out years ago?
What's with all in there?
Or is that the very next game? Wow, I'm a wizard. So are they launching any games with it, or are they just literally showing all the old games on the new console? Vehicle stands sold separately. Why? And why $700? Isn't the old console only like 400 or 500? How much is a new PS5? I don't even know. What are we at with the debate?
A rapist on a debate stage had merchandise
Yeah,
ready.
that's NBC. Let's see, ABC. We got 27 minutes left.
Go, but she couldn't parlay that into anything positive for
PS5.
her campaign. She'll do that to Donald Trump tonight.
Shop
The
PS5.
question becomes, will he follow her down that trail? Or will
Wrong
he stick
price
to
at the
ones
wrong
that the
time.
American people care about?
Yeah, $450. They've almost doubled the fucking price. I mean, not almost, but you know what I mean. Like they how much is that? Like 30%, 40%?
Every candidate wants to be the change candidate.
450
Right? You have a
times
former president and a sitting vice
0.4.
president, so they're not the natural
180
change candidates. She has to figure out on this
times
debate stage how she
0.7.
can both embrace part of her record that
315,
people may like,
so
and also
700.
build on it
Yeah,
and
they've
tell
basically
people that she's
doubled.
gonna do something
They've
different.
times it by
Very tricky.
0.7.
Sounds like you're saying she has a higher
Yeah, it really did hit
She
Sony.
does
What
have
the
a higher
hell?
bar. I think there's higher
Is it because they're
expectations for her. I will
Japanese?
say, I'm not sure that
They're manufacturing this shit in China. Why would that matter? Hello? Honestly, like this could be the chance for fucking Xbox to step in and get their shit together. Because like no one's buying a $700 console. Yeah, for real. Nintendo's Japanese. They keep the prices low. What the hell? I mean, obviously, the fucking Switch is garbage. Like they haven't updated the processor in like 10 years. But still. But that's so big. Stop it.
very closely, Martha, and a former longtime advisor for Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu told me that he's going to be watching very closely.
Dude,
for
I
what
fucking hate
former President
Netanyahu.
Trump has to say about Iran. He said for
I swear to God,
Netanyahu,
if
both Harris
Netanyahu
and
likes
Trump are known
either one of their
quantities, but the
performances, I'm
advisor
gonna
telling
be
me
very
that for
upset.
Netanyahu, a Trump presidency would be a dream come true, especially because
A
of the
dream come
mounting
true. Great.
scrutiny
Perfect.
that Trump has been, that Netanyahu has been under, increasing
Just what we
allegations
need
he's
in
been
the world.
dragging his feet on this hostage deal.
Fucking a gift to Netanyahu. The man single-handedly committing a genocide. Love that.
6 hostages were executed, including American Hirsch Goldberg Pollen, not just a couple of hours ago. And if you ask Israelis and Palestinians what they're looking
What's
for
with the
from
buckets?
Vice President Harris, they're likely to say they want to know what she has to offer that is different from what the Biden administration has been doing
Yeah,
the
literally.
past several months, despite massive
Are they
efforts.
just gonna fucking
promised
do
that
Biden
a deal is
V2? Because
around
if they
the
do, it's
corner,
gonna
but
be a shit
remains
show.
Elusive, and it's going to be a lot easier of a sell for the former
I need
president
Pringles
who's never
to keep
faced
me-
a crisis like this, but he's
to
likely
keep me
going to
alive.
say and repeat what he said in the past, that if he were president, October 7th would never have happened. If he were president, he would have been able to have strong-armed Hamas and Netanyahu into a ceasefire and hostage deal that would have saved the lives of many Palestinians and, of course, those hostages, Martha.
Since no one's here, let's see what Hassan
Matt, thanks so
is
much.
saying.
Ukraine also at the center.
Actually, we could grab one of his,
Foreign Affairs correspondent
whatever,
Ian
can't we?
Pennell, who is
One of
in
his
Ukraine.
bingo boards.
Closely watched there as well, Ian.
Yeah, that's
Maybe
right.
we get one of the
I spoke
Kamala
to
bingo
an
boards.
advisor to the president's office today, and he used one simple word: critical. It's critical what happens tonight. It's critical what happens in November, not just to Ukraine, but I think this sends strong.
It is getting tighter and tighter.
Where's his
and
fucking
she
bingo
should
boards?
be fucking desperate to pick up
Me.
as many votes as possible. Perhaps even more desperate than
I ain't gonna stop signing up for it.
Because the race has gotten tighter, Donald Trump, but even though Donald Trump is in a losing position,
What happens
he might
first?
actually
Trump
turn
gets
around and
muted.
talk about some
Kamala
crazy
gets
shit
muted.
about decriminalizing
Trump says borders
marijuana.
are. Kamala says liar. Trump says Haitian. Kamala laughs into Mike. They shake hands or none of the above. I'm gonna guess.
Very weak attack point. Trump whines about
I think
Biden
Kamala's
jumping
gonna
on the
laugh
first 15
first.
minutes. She laughs
I don't know.
and
I don't
then
think she's gonna
that's
come
when
out super
That's
serious.
when he gets triggered. Yeah, these
I
are
think she's still
incredibly
riding
safe
the
predictions.
fucking
Especially
Brett
the
Summer
Gaza
vibes.
thing.
I don't think she's gonna.
Yes, Kamala Harris.
I feel
is
like
gonna
that's the most
fucking
likely thing to happen
repeat
first.
The same goddamn thing she's repeated a million times over at this point.
Presidential debate. Even apparently President Zelensky
I don't know, what do you think?
expected to tune in. And
Moist
the
critical?
outcome, I think,
What about
of
him?
this presidential debate is going to be critical to the outcome of Ukraine's defense against
I will
Russia's
do
invasion. Martha?
Okay.
20,000
much,
points.
Ian and I have both spent a great
Hopefully
deal
I
of
don't
time
lose.
in Afghanistan.
Another aspect that we didn't talk about is that
I
they're
bet
probably
20K that
like
she's gonna laugh first.
Kamala Harris
It's either
will
that
talk
or
about
Trump's gonna get
Ukraine, I
muted,
think.
probably.
I suspect she might even say things like Donald Trump wants Ukraine to be invaded, and then Trump will then still turn around and be like, "No, I want to."
Oh, he
end
said
the war.
critical?
I just want to continue the war. They'll both be really
I wasn't even
reactionary
listening.
towards China. Obviously, they'll try to outcompete who's worse on China.
It's so annoying
one
that
of the best
Trump
counters to
keeps
the fucking Trump, like,
lasering
that
in
soldiers
on
were
the
killed during
failed
Afghanistan.
pullout of
Could be a
Afghanistan
number of different counters
when
to
it
that.
wasn't even like a
Obviously, number
failed
one being
pullout. It
your
wasn't
Afghan
like we
withdrawal plan
lost
that you were too cowardly to
like
actually
thousands or
pull
hundreds
off,
of soldiers.
and
It
Joe
was
Biden
like
actually pulled
a
the
couple
trigger
of
on.
them,
But a more
13
effective
exactly,
counter to that
were
would be
killed
67
from the
soldiers died in
fucking
Afghanistan
Air Force
in
base
your
getting
in
attacked
your 4
or
years
the
of the
airport getting
presidency.
attacked.
13 died.
But like, what did they
Not
think
a
was gonna
single-
happen?
not a single
Like, you can't pull out of a
soldier
country that
ever
you've
died.
occupied for
That's
20
why
years
this administration
without just
pulled
like,
out of Afghanistan. Obviously,
you know,
Kamala Harris
killing
would never say
everyone.
that, though, because that goes against the I am going to have the strongest, most
like there's
hardest military
literally
of
no
all
way that
time.
that could have gone
So, you know,
any better
that would make too much
unless
sense for
they
Kamala
managed to,
Harris
you know,
to say
make
something
the
like that. You know,
government
turns out
of
when you pull out
Afghanistan
of
not
an active
fall,
war zone,
which
less
was not
soldiers
really in the
die.
cards.
But we'll see. Sanders announces support to nuke the filibuster. Okay, great. In terms of the worst counters, yes, suckers and losers would be the.
Let's go back to let's see what they're saying.
Security and freedom. Now, policy-wise, she is largely vowing to continue the policies of the Biden administration, but there is no question on this issue, she is facing the most pressure from Democratic voters. I've been at nearly every Harris rally so far, and at almost every one, she is interrupted by protesters eager to make their voices heard on
literally.
it. They will be listening closely.
Very strong voting block there.
If she doesn't take that into consideration with this
All right, so
debate,
coming
I
up,
don't know what
Senator
the fuck
Tom
she's
Cotton
doing.
and Governor Josh
I don't know who's
Shapiro
running her
standing by with
freaking
just about
campaign if
20
that's
minutes until the
how
debate.
she
Stay with
reacts.
us.
It's the Liberty Bell. I've been here. Wow, it's a piece of metal. You can touch it because it's just a piece of metal. So cool. Wow. Very, very neat. How's my video doing? It's at 0 views. And it's at 1 view. Let's go. Fire.
You take a look and you see one here that's a little different. That's Wisconsin. Harris on
I have
average
this
is
up
just
too?
over 4 points ahead right now. This
I
Wisconsin,
do.
keep in mind,
Source of the
source of biggest polling miss in 2020. It had Joe Biden well ahead, nearly 10 points on average.
Jesus.
He won the state by less than 1 point. The
Oh, well, he
polling
still
here was
won.
way off in 2016 as well. There was a pretty big miss in
See, the
Michigan,
only thing that
too.
actually matters
States
about this
with
campaign
large
or this election is
blue-collar white
Pennsylvania.
populations where
And
Trump has
Pennsylvania
won
could
very big
easily be
numbers.
swung
The polls
by
didn't
more than 2
sufficiently
points.
capture that
So
in
it's
16 and 20.
basically
Is that going to be different
nil
in
and, you know, neck and neck
2024,
race.
or is there more Trump support in some of these states than it appears in the polls? That's a major question to think about as you see more numbers come out. And then you just see in this column right here the electoral votes. Again, 7 core
I mean, just by
battleground
like
states.
the
Where's
numbers
tonight's debate?
with the
It
polls
is
right
in
now,
the
Harris is
state that
technically
first
winning.
among equals when
But
it comes to
I don't know
battleground
about the polls,
states.
dude.
19
It sounds like
electoral
Trump's
votes in Pennsylvania, more than any
campaign
other.
strategies
What
that
does
go
that mean
after
functionally? If you're one of these campaigns and you
voting
lose
Americans
Pennsylvania,
who may be voting for the first
if you
time.
wanna offset
And if
that,
so,
you
they're
gotta
not going
win
to show up
at
in the
least
polls.
2 others to make up for the
If he actually
number
gets
2
any
you're
headway
losing
in that
out on
regard,
in
which it sounds like he
Pennsylvania. This is
has
the king
or might,
of the battleground
depending,
states.
Steve,
how
not to
strategy
bring
goes.
back memories, but weren't
Yeah,
we
this
were
guy
here
looks
until
sick.
Saturday, the week of the election, waiting for
It's like a
Pennsylvania?
screenshot.
That's right,
Or,
11:30 Saturday.
wallpaper.
2020.
Oh my God! But who's counting, right?
Right at the door?
Want to
I
hear
can't tell.
tonight? These battleground voters, they're the deciders. Kate Snow is in Pennsylvania talking to those undecided swing voters. Hi, Kate.
Hi, Savannah. Yeah, we're at the Churchville Inn. It's a restaurant in Bucks County, Pennsylvania. That's right outside of Philadelphia. This is a county that really could be pivotal in the state of Pennsylvania. And as Steve was just saying, it could be pivotal. Pennsylvania, as it goes, could be pivotal for the whole election. So we gathered 3 voters with me. They are all undecided voters. Each one of you is registered differently. We have Lynn Kelleher, who's a registered Republican and a realtor here in town. We have Hannah
Oh, great, a
Reed,
realtor.
an independent.
Love
among
realtors.
3. And then we have
Salt
Andrew-
of the earth. Never
Andrew
met a bad
Wallace,
one.
who's registered Democrat
Definitely.
and owns this place, by the way, the owner of the restaurant. What's interesting, though, is you all cannot decide. And Lynn, you told us that you find Trump, I forget your word, reprehensible? You really don't.
Wait, she
like
can't
the
decide,
guy.
but she calls him
Kamala
reprehensible?
Harris
What the hell is she
said that
thinking?
You don't understand what she stands for. She needs to explain. What are you looking for tonight?
For me, the election is a decision between economics and morals. I like.
See, that's what I hate.
Trump's economic
Trump is not
policy.
pro-economy.
I find
His economic policy is
abhor
shit.
Quite
Because of
frankly,
his morals.
Because of his morals or lack thereof.
If anything, it's
but
big business,
she,
which means nothing for
is
the average
talking
American.
A lot of fluff. She hasn't
It means the
said
stock market is going to
anything
do good
substantive.
for like
I
4
don't
more
know
years
that
until
she
it
has
fucking
the
crashes
experience
and you lose your
or
fucking
the,
retirement fund. Well, so great. You had 4 more years to lose your money.
wherewithal
It just,
to lead this
raised the
country
bubble
out
even
of the
more before it
economic
burst.
situation that we're in.
I'm going to note all 3 of you voted for Trump in 2016.
All
and then
3 of them?
changed in 2020. Hannah, let me go to you. You said
Dude,
you're
what the
very
hell?
frustrated going into this debate. Why?
Because you voted for Trump.
The election itself is no longer about policies. It's no longer about.
So is this the average American? Is this the average voter who voted for Trump and now regrets their
So
decision?
the inflation.
You don't like the name calling.
The name calling. I mean, the back and forth. It's about who can get one over on the other, to the point that we are not pushing policies through.
Dude, how come they have
because
no
the person
internet where
that
they're
put it through
fucking
was
shooting this?
from another party?
And Andrew, let me ask you about your issues, because we were talking earlier. You like some of the things. You're really big on policies that Trump supports, and then you're also really
Like
big
what?
on policies that Harris
Like what?
supports.
Name one
We don't know
fucking
what
policy you
you're
support,
gonna
dude.
do. So what do you need to hear tonight?
I feel left behind by the Democratic Party. The Democratic
That was a
Party.
ladybug in my ear. One
Harris
of those fake
received 0
ones from
votes.
China.
I would have liked to have a say
Damn
in the
Chinese.
primary, and they didn't give me that. I feel that they think that they know what's best for me. Harris hasn't said anything. Harris's policies, a lot of them, have just been stolen from Trump. Taxes on tips. putting up a
Thank
border
Donnie.
wall. She's had
The biggest
said
Zinni.
absolutely nothing
Hello.
of her own with her own ideas.
How are you?
So I'm waiting to see anything
Big boy
from
Zinni,
her
man.
that is an original idea and not stolen from the other candidate.
All right, guys, we're going to watch this debate together, and Savannah
Where's
Lester will
Obama?
certainly
I could
report
pull
back
Obama
on
up.
sort of
May
what the
find him.
reactions are here in the room. It's an instant focus group. Back to
Did
you.
I get rid of Obama? Do I have to bring him back?
Thanks very
No,
much.
I
Let me
definitely
bring
have
in
him.
two experts in
Here
debate
somewhere.
preparation. Greg
There he is.
Craig served as White House counsel in the Obama administration. He prepped John Kerry by playing George W. Bush. And Judd Gregg is a former senator from New Hampshire
Let's get rid of the
who
waving.
prepped George W. Bush by playing John Kerry. And Senator, let me begin with
We'll
you.
have two
You know, the
ex-presidents on my
candidates are
wall.
sort of hitting you a tongue-tied.
Obama and
Yes, it's not
Biden.
easy. The
President
Harris
Spuden.
folks really want to put forth her and introduce her to people who don't know a lot about her right now. Is this a good time for any
perfect.
candidate to change who they are, who the viewers and voters
Now,
perceive?
now you know, like that we're real political commentators
People
now.
can't change themselves. Really, these debates
Bidamid?
turn on a few things.
Biden
I think.
mid?
First is your
Bidamid?
mannerisms, and especially when you have a split
Is there a
screen.
Biden
You'll
mid? I don't think there's a
remember
Biden mid.
when, George Bush the first was in the debate. He looked at his watch, and that affected the campaign.
Ew,
So-
Josh Shapiro, gross.
No matter what they look like, where they come from, who they love, who they pray to. An economic message.
Dude,
that
this
lifts
fucking
people up
bug is just
instead
having
of
a
shutting
heyday.
out
Just
the middle
running up and
class.
down the wire.
I expect you'll see Kamala Harris speak not only about her strong track record, but her strong vision for the nation and prosecute the case effectively against Donald Trump tonight.
You mentioned the case against Trump. What about Joe Biden? You know, how
Let's see
does
if I
she
can
go
find one.
about building off of their record, but making clear
No,
to
no
voters who are
Biden spinning
concerned that
pyramid.
she
What
won't
if I
just
use the
be
word
Biden
GIF?
2.0?
What did you put in?
Well, serving as Joe Biden's vice president made
Does
her
anyone
fit and
know
ready
a way to
to
make the
serve
pyramid
on day
with different
one.
president?
I
I
think
made
it's
one with Joe
important
Biden,
we
but it looks
examine
too
Kamala
long.
Harris's positions,
Too
her
long.
vision,
What
the
that? Did he
things
3D
she
print
wants
that
to
or make it out of
do
paper?
For this nation. Elections are about the future, and Kamala Harris's vision for the future
There's a
is
cat.
a stark contrast to the
Wow,
dangerous
cat.
vision of the future that Donald Trump has. One of less
Oh,
freedom
spitting
and more
Biden.
chaos under
Oh wait,
Donald
whoa,
Trump.
whoa, he's.
We will see
No,
how it
never.
unfolds on the debate stage. Governor Shapiro, thank you so much.
All right, so we've talked to surrogates from both campaigns. Coming up, we are going to talk to somebody who has
Joe
debated
Biden.
Donald Trump and helped him
Biden.
prepare for big debates. With tonight's showdown,
Ooh.
less than 14 minutes away.
Well, maybe we'll throw this one up just for fun. Not a pyramid, but something. Not a pyramid, but goddamn it, it'll do. How do I just like copy photos? Can I just drag it over? Then it'll do. Yeah, it'll do that. It'll do that.
My sense was that everybody around him was afraid of him.
Brittany describes having a secret abortion
This
that
one?
not even her family knew about.
What the hell? GIF keyboard.
What's the relationship like between Harry and William today? What did people start to say?
You look great. Are you on Ozempic?
I told the kids,
Oh,
I said,
that's
I'm not
right.
even gonna let you eat breakfast until you get your chores done.
She talks about tough love and harsh punishment.
No, it's abuse.
I think Scott Peterson murdered his wife and his child. Prove me wrong.
Do you feel the church accepted abuse?
Yep, that's him.
Yep.
Ready? Does your church protect sexual predators?
How do you top the most watched season yet?
Fabulous.
It's a bit erratic, a bit exotic.
You have no idea. Impact by Nightline. The all-new season premieres this
There's
September.
confused Biden in the background. Confused Biden because he's confused why he's not on the stage.
To always remember that lives are changed.
He's like, wait a second, I'm supposed to be up there. What the hell?
Reporting from Rolling Fork, Mississippi. Ukrainian refugees here in Warsaw. We're heading to a small community.
Poor confused Biden. Just honestly confused what's going on. Not even sure what we're watching.
ABC News Live Prime. We'll take you there.
Stream
ABC News, why don't you fucking knock it off with the ad breaks? How about that?
Commission.
To catch
You're
you up with
solo
what
out there.
happened
You've got
overnight.
your
Clashing
back is
over
to
national security.
in this giant room full of people, and there were estimates of 100 million.
No, they're just fucking giving interviews about how they used to debate them. Like, what? I don't care, dude.
Could be good for your heart.
start. Non-alcoholic bars are popping up in a growing
No
number
booze
of cities.
bars.
That's the spirit.
What?
America This Morning. America's #1.
That's not a thing. Is that? That was a no booze bar.
When we were coming of age in the 1980s, the Brat Pack was near the
This is
center.
not going to end well. Everybody says it. Everybody thinks that I'm not going to do well on stage. But I keep telling them,
The critics agree.
if I do badly, I'm going to nuke the country. And you can't stop me. I just threw it on the wrong fucking thing. Oh no, what did I do? Oh no, I got rid of my scene capture.
Well, we didn't fill
That was
Shea
bad.
Stadium.
I fixed it. Everything's fine now. Alright, we'll throw
Betrayal
this.
is one of the hardest types of trauma to overcome.
This is her
Shit,
night in
that's
shining armor.
Everything felt right. All of a sudden, I found this hidden folder. I opened it. I don't think I can say it. I'm sorry.
Hit podcast.
Shocking. My
Betrayal.
stomach just dropped. He just really
Is
didn't
it I was
think
dating a
had it.
pedo? Is that what this story is?
So, I did.
Betrayal, a father's secret, the all-new season.
I'm gonna guess it was I was married to a pedo.
Americans
My
choose
favorite kind of
ABC
story.
News, America's #1 news
Oh
source.
boy.
Here's to Good Mornings in America. Mornings that inspire, filled with hope, kindness, joyous surprises, and
How much do you think I have to
so
crop
much
it?
fun.
600?
Start your day with Good Morning
Yeah, that'll
America's Ray of Sunshine.
600.
Highlighting the best of America. Get ready to
400.
smile and put the
Oh,
good into
perfect.
your morning, America.
You know what will make the morning better? A little ray of sunshine.
Reporting from
This
the
is not
2024
going to end
Democratic
well.
National Convention in Chicago, I'm Kira Phillips. Wherever the story is, we'll take you there. You're streaming ABC News Live.
See, the problem is he goes right where my TV is.
If you're just joining us, I'm Martha Raddatz. We're live
Good
from
enough. Just
Philadelphia,
confuse Biden and
the
angry
National
Trump.
Constitution Center, the site of tonight's debate. Now about
If I
10
move the
minutes
projector a
away.
little bit.
And I'm Jonathan Carl here with Mary Bruce and Rachel
There we go.
Scott. The candidates are just off the stage, ready to
Perfect.
walk out. They are in their hold rooms, just minutes from making that walk. Martha, you have been backstage.
I cannot wait for my great President Trump to tell me all of the good things that he's going to do when he wins. Joe's confused by Trump saying it's going to end well. Yeah, right? He's like, dude, you're going to kill it. I don't know why you're so upset, Trump. You're going to kill it.
All right, well, then let's bring somebody in who has been there both
Come on,
debating
man.
Donald Trump and helping him prepare
Come on,
for general
man.
election debates.
Don't worry, Trump. You can do it.
of New
Just go out
Jersey,
there and
Chris Christie.
let him know you're a good guy and you can really fix America. Just let him know, man. Just give it a good one.
Does bring us
Go on, man.
into that room right
You
now.
can do
What's
it.
going on with Donald Trump?
Well, look, at this point, he's
When I was
he's in the
president,
worst hour of his
I did things.
prep because he's just.
I've been informed I am still president.
and wait
And
for
I
the
will
time to
do
come.
things
They make you get there early
until I am no
And
longer
so
president.
He's not really being spoken to.
Dude, why is Chris Christie here, dude? You've
You
been
know,
out of
he's
office
not
for like
but
6
nobody's
years. Just go fucking die in a hole already. Nobody wants you here.
Yeah, let me ask you the question I tried
Chris
to ask
Christie.
Tom Cotton. You didn't exactly
How long has he
give me
been
an
out of
answer, but you will.
politics?
Which Trump
From
is the Trump
2018. It's been 6 years, dude. Go away.
I think at the beginning of
Nobody wants you here.
will show up will be the calmer Donald Trump.
He was my fucking governor my entire childhood. He's a piece of shit. Go away. Nobody likes you.
That the other Donald
Why
Trump
are
is
you
not
here?
the
You're
one
not
that's
even a
the right
politician
formula.
anymore. What? How do you get these interviews? I don't
Will he be able
understand.
to continue to maintain
He ran for president twice and lost twice because nobody fucking likes him.
by David and Lindsay?
No, we can't have a Chris
comments
Christie
that Vice President
on the
Harris
fucking
made
wall. No Chris Christie's. He's too fat. He's too
That'll be the
stupid.
key to how he performs tonight.
Somehow he fucking shows Trump up. It's insane. It's a skill, a legitimate skill to look worse than Trump somehow.
He told you that he had respect.
Noise. 1 view in 60 minutes. Killing it. 2 views. Killing it.
As you were preparing. What about Kamala Harris? We hear not the same.
Let's see how he glazes
Certainly he's
Kamala.
not saying that publicly in any way. And I can tell you that in 2016,
how do I
he
turn
would
it up?
regularly say
It's all the
during
way
the
up. Scam.
that
What?
we had
Turn it down.
was smart, that she was a good debater, that she was not to be taken lightly. And I don't think there was ever a moment in 2016 where he took her lightly. I do think he took Joe Biden lightly in 2020. And clearly during the prep sessions that I had with him, it was very, very difficult.
I don't get why,
to
like,
get him to focus.
anyone would elect
on
someone
what Joe
like
Biden
Christie.
might or might not
He's
do
kind of gross
in, that first
every
debate,
sense of the word.
And I think his performance in part reflected that.
I didn't vote
so
for him.
the question's going to be,
Not fucking once.
Is what he's saying publicly what he really believes? We know.
To my
that
knowledge,
with
maybe I
Donald
did.
Trump, that's performance.
Maybe when I was 18, I voted for him. I
But
don't
I
know.
will
I don't
tell
think
you
so.
that in his 2016 prep,
Pretty sure
he was
I did not.
serious about getting ready for Hillary Clinton. In his 2020 debate prep, he was completely unserious about getting ready for Joe Biden. I think performances.
No,
in
when I
both
was
those
18, it
debates
was already
reflected
2020.
That approach.
No.
All
never
right.
mind. It was
Chris
all.
Christie, you'll
What
be
year was
watching
I
with
fucking
us.
18? 2015?
And we have about
Dude, I don't
6
even know.
minutes left before the debate, so let's bring in
I'm
Donna
27
Brazile
now,
from
minus
the
10.
DNC and Reince
So it
Priebus,
was
the
2013?
RNC. Welcome
No.
to both of you. And Donna, let's
Doesn't
start
make
with you.
sense.
You have said that Kamala Harris has to own the future.
2015.
But she also has to own the past. So how does she do this?
Are you hating Chris? Because he's a douchebag. He's terrible. There's nothing good Christie's ever done in his entire life. What do you mean? What do you mean? What do you mean I am hating Chris? He's a piece of shit. He was my governor. He was a piece of shit. From personal experience.
And tonight she should talk to the American
Fucking
people.
not a single
Sit in
good thing he
their
did for
living
the state while he was
room.
in
Go to
office.
their
Like,
kitchen
dude.
table and say, look, I have
I get you're not American. That's my point. Why am I hating Chris? Because he was my governor. He was a piece of shit.
But here's what I think
Fuck
we can
Chris
do together
Christie.
over the next 4 years.
I will die on
Be
that hill.
positive in her approach and really remind
He's
the
a
American
fat
people that we don't want to go back to
fucking
the chaos,
loser
the confusion,
who
the
fucking
disaster
advocates
that
for the dumbest shit.
made, of course, the
And he's
American
corrupt.
people go out in droves in 2020 to fire the former president. Say, I want to be a
God damn
president.
it. I don't
that
want
we
more
all
Christie
Americans,
gifts.
I want to keep us strong and secure. And here's the
He's so
plan
confused.
that I want to share with you tonight.
He's like, how did I
And
get
Donna,
here?
I of course meant.
Where am
Biden.
I?
She has to.
Why
own
am I
up
standing next to
the
him?
Biden administration's any mistakes
Pie?
they made too, and Donald Trump is
Wait
going
a
to go
second.
after her on that.
You know what? Maybe I take it all
They
back.
made
Christie seems to be
mistakes.
getting
Donald Trump
the.
and Mr.
He's
Pence
got the
made
cake.
mistakes, but you know what?
Look
If
at
we
that.
focus
He's
on
got
our
the
mistakes,
cake.
we won't focus on all
How
the
does he
good
stay
things
this
that we can
fat
do
for so
together
long
as
and just not
Americans.
die?
I do believe
I
there's
don't.
something
I don't
to
get
say
it.
about
Look
people
at this
who
man.
are
He's
now
a stuffed
able to work.
Twinkie.
The people who can buy
I'm not
their
answering questions
insulin
on
without
Twinkies.
paying over
Are you
$1,000,
sure, dude?
$35.
Are you
There's
sure?
so much good that she can talk about from the visits that
Fucking
she's
insane,
made to
dude.
small towns across this country, large cities across the country. Bring us together. The American people want to
Bring
be
it
led into
together.
the future,
God
not
bless.
dragged back to another era.
It'll all be okay.
And Reince, I
Just
want
put
your
fucking
thoughts on. You've also
shitty Kamala
prepped
in
Donald Trump for debates
office
back
and
in
everything will be fixed.
2016.
This isn't even a gift. What the hell is this?
Donald Trump, do you think we'll see tonight?
This is
Can
just
he be
the
disciplined
old man's
about
face.
talking about policies?
Is this
and what
supposed to be
kind of
Chris
president
Christie?
he will
Did he have fucking cancer? The hell?
Well, he certainly can be. I mean, the reality is Donald Trump doesn't have a lot to lose tonight. I mean, his support has
I don't think
always
so. I think
been
he has a lot to lose.
almost unmovable. So
Writing.
the second piece is the
Exclamation mark,
honeymoon,
bingo.
I think,
Where's
is
that in
over for
Momentum?
Kamala Harris.
He has
And
not
you all
DM'd
kind of
me yet.
touched
I'm waiting
on it
for a
with Donna. Kamala Harris has to answer
See, I
for
think
the
that
state of the economy that
Trump
she took
has a lot to
role in
lose
the Biden
because
administration, the border.
he
you
has
know,
to
her
discredit
past
Kamala.
positions
Basically,
on
he has to take all the
decriminalizing
people that
border,
are on the fence about her
decriminalizing certain drugs,
and make her
what her role
seem
was in Afghanistan.
like an
So
illogical
really,
choice.
the
So he doesn't have to
spotlight
get
is
people
on
to go out and
Kamala
vote.
Harris
He has to
tonight
get people to
because she
not go
played
out
a
and
role in the
vote,
Biden
which is actually a
administration. She
lot
wants to
easier.
act like she's
It's
not
so
an
much easier to be
incumbent.
like,
So
oh
this
my
is
God,
where the
voting
focus
is so
going to
hard,
be.
and like
And
this
she's
guy
got a
sucks
lot to
anyway.
answer for
Like,
tonight,
why even
and I
try
think
and
that's
vote,
where
dude? Like,
Donald Trump's
why
focus
would I go out
will
and
be
vote
where it
when, like,
actually should
you
be
know,
tonight.
it's not
Well,
going to
one
matter
of the
anyway.
things
Your
he
vote
wants
just
to
doesn't
do
matter. So
is
like, why
have
even try and vote?
female
If he can
voters
just
look
sell
at him.
that,
How
then
does
he doesn't have to do
attract
anything.
female
He can just
voters
win
after
by
saying
fucking
things
getting
about
people
Kamala
not to
Harris?
vote.
We'll
That's
see
what he
how he
tried to do in
pronounces that
2016 and
tonight.
failed.
Things he
But
said
like,
about
if he
Kamala
could do
Harris,
that,
she's dumb
or
as a rock.
2020, if he could
That's
do
not
that,
really gonna
you know,
attract
this
female
time
voters, is it?
successfully through this debate,
Yeah,
then he'd
no,
probably be
it
pretty
won't,
successful. But he's
I
just
also
not going to
think
do that because
just
he's
like he
an
did
idiot.
in the first debate against
All right,
Joe
see you on the
Biden.
other.
I think the formula here is
Two
to
more minutes
constantly
till the debate
tie
starts.
Kamala Harris to the Biden administration, which is where Trump is winning against her on the economy.
If he just comes
inflation,
out and be
all
like,
these other
fucking
problems that we're having. everything.
Harris
and then
is
sit back
the
and let her
reincarnate
talk.
of
Let
Biden.
Her explain
and
herself.
let her
past
just fucking
positions, current positions. How does
run
she
herself
feel
into the
about
ground.
how Biden
That
has done
might
in
actually
the economy?
work.
How does she feel about the border? Then turn it over and let her talk.
He's not going to do
Okay,
that.
thanks so much for joining us tonight, Donna and Reince. We're all
See, the problem with
staying
Trump
tuned.
is he
Can't wait.
loves
And I have to
his
say, as
talking
we are
points.
just a
And I don't
couple
know if
less
Harris
than
has
2
been
minutes away,
practicing,
this
you know, drilling
is
in
such
on
an
talking
extraordinary
points or
moment,
not,
especially,
what she's been
Rachel,
practicing in
when you
these last
consider
couple
that
weeks.
these 2 people that have been the center
So we're
of
going
our
to
lives
see
for the
what
last 2
her
months.
strategy
Have never met
is,
each
but
other.
there's a
Have
couple
never even
different
met
paths
each
that she
other.
could
And
be
Harris said, if you got
attempting
something to say it to my face.
you
The
know,
question
swing
tonight,
some
does
votes.
Donald Trump actually go
I
there?
mean, for all we know, she
Question
just comes
racial
out swinging
identity,
as a
question for
full-on
intelligence as well,
Republican
or
and
does
just
she
says,
stick to the issue?
"We are
this is
pro-fracking,
the
we
largest
are
audience they're likely to have
pro-war,
in this
we
race. Like,
are
it'll be
pro,
interesting to
you know,
see if
whatever."
Harris can
You know,
make
it's
clear
just
the
like,
stark choice
"We are
before voters,
pro-border
but where does
reform."
she
Like,
decide to land her punches?
just
She can punch
fucking
hard. Can she
come
do
out
that
swinging,
while rising
saying
above
all
the
the
needle and
worst
coming away?
shit
But first and
possible,
foremost, are we gonna
and
see a
think that
handshake
might work.
when the two
And
of
I
them
I
meet
hope
for
to
the
God
first
she
time?
doesn't
We
do that.
didn't back in
She
2016
might.
when I
She
did
fucking
that
might.
debate. We'll stand by to see
If she's
that
gonna
tonight for the
win,
first time
it's not
side
on
to
the
side.
the fucking
together.
And I
the
have my
random
doubts that we're
people
gonna see that handshake.
of you know, middle of nowhere Pennsylvania, Trump country. It's gonna be on the suburbs. And if she's
Consequential
gonna
general
get the suburb
election maybe
vote,
I've
she's
ever
gonna
seen,
have to convince them that
almost
Trump
certainly it's
is
gonna be the
just
last one.
gross.
So with the
She has to
stakes so
convince
high,
people that he's
President
so
Trump being
gross
just moments
that the
away,
idea of him being in
we
office
have the
would
entire
be
news division keeping an eye on
unconscionable.
everything. We are going to be fact checking on our live blog. It's all going to be happening.
Great.
Right
That-
here.
that'll do a
The
lot.
debate now, just
Everyone's gonna read the
10
blog, I
seconds
promise. Don't
away.
worry.
Back with our post-game show.
Can't wait to
as
read
soon
the
as
live
it's over.
blog.
Right now, to David Muir and Lindsay Day.
Tonight, the high-stakes showdown here in Philadelphia between Vice
Making
President
history,
Kamala
boys,
Harris
making
and
history.
former President Donald Trump. Their first face-to-face meeting in this presidential election. Their first face-to-face meeting ever.
A historic race for
So
President.
didn't they just prove that they never met, but like they thought they might have at some point
President
at like a
Biden withdrawing
public
after his
event?
last debate, Donald Trump now up against a new opponent.
I'm surprised they haven't met,
Separated by
considering
the
it's the
smallest of
president
margins,
and the
essentially
vice
tied in
president,
the
or the
polls
prior
nationally
president and
and
the
in
vice
the key
president.
battlegrounds, including right here in Pennsylvania, all still very much in play. The ABC News presidential debate starts right now.
Come on,
This
bro,
is
get
an
on with
ABC News special. The most consequential moment of this campaign. Kamala Harris.
Together, we will chart a new way forward.
I mean, it could be the most consequential moment. Probably is.
A great nation again.
Face to face. Historic. The ABC News presidential debate.
Is this the intro to an Avengers movie or is it a debate? I can't tell.
And Lindsay Davis.
Oh wait, I was prepared for this.
Good evening, I'm David.
There we
Muir,
go.
and
I
thank you
got a
for
button
joining us
ready.
For tonight's ABC News presidential
Woo, America, baby! We are ready for this goddamn debate. We are gonna live it. We're gonna get out of this. Debate so hard. We're gonna do it the American way. Goddamn, you are right.
President Kamala Harris
Woo!
is her first debate since President Biden withdrew from.
All
the
right, come
race
on, guys, get to
July
the fucking debate
21st.
already.
Of course, that decision followed his debate against
We're all waiting.
President Donald Trump in June. Since then, this race has taken
Stop
on
giving
an
us a-
entirely.
Stop
new
giving a
dynamic.
fucking recap. We get it.
rules of tonight's
We've been running
debate.
against each
9
other for
minutes
like
with
2
two
months.
commercial breaks.
Now they're
No
debate for the
topics
first
or
time.
questions
Just
have been
get
shared
on
with
it.
campaigns.
Let them
The
out.
Candidates will have 2 minutes to answer questions, and this is the clock. That's what they'll be seeing.
This is
2
bad
minutes for
TV,
rebuttals
guys. Bad
and
TV.
1 minute for
Just get to the
follow-ups,
point.
clarifications, or responses. Their microphones will only be turned on when it's their turn to speak. No pre-written
Dude,
notes allowed. There
you're
is no
repeating
audience
the
here
same
tonight.
rules as last
All
debate.
at
We
the
watched last
Constitution
debate.
Center. This is an intimate setting for candidates who have never met.
President Trump won the coin toss. He chose to deliver the final closing
They did a
statement
coin
of the
toss?
evening. Vice President Harris selected the podium to the right.
So let's now welcome the candidates to the stage. Vice President
Oh my
Kamala
god, it's
Harris
literally a
and
recap
President
of last
Donald
time.
Trump.
Literally a recap of last time. Oh no. Oh no. Don't shake his hand. No! Damn it! I'm out of money. I'm out of money. Fuck! I lost.
Welcome to you both.
I
Wonderful to
lost.
have you. It's an honor to have
Oh
you here.
shit.
Good evening.
Oh
We are
shit. What are they
looking forward to a
saying?
spirited and thoughtful debate.
Oh
So let's get
shit. I
started.
lost the bet.
I want to begin tonight with the issue that voters
not
repeatedly
even
say
loading.
is their #1 issue, and that is the economy
God
and the cost
damn
of
it.
living in this
I
country.
can't believe I lost the
Vice
bet. Don't
President
do me
you
like
and
that,
President
Harris.
Trump were elected 4 years ago,
Don't
and
do
your
me
opponent
like
on the
that.
stage here tonight often asks his
Son of a bitch.
supporters, "Are you better off than you were 4 years ago?" When it comes to the economy, do you believe Americans are better off than they were 4 years ago?
The answer is yes, but no.
I was raised as a middle-class kid.
And I am actually the only person on this stage who has a plan that is about lifting.
There's only two
up
people on
the
the
middle class
stage.
and working people of
That's not gonna
America.
work.
I believe in the ambition, the aspirations, the dreams of the American people. And that is why I imagine and have actually a plan to
You
build
can
what I
imagine
call
all
an
you want, but that's not gonna change the fact that fucking groceries are more expensive, bitch.
We know that we have a shortage of homes and houses.
Hello?
And the cost of housing is too expensive for far too many people. We know that young families need support to raise their children, and I intend on extending a tax cut.
Great tax
for those
breaks.
families of
Great. Let's just do more
which is the
tax
largest
cuts.
child
Let's
tax
just
credit
run
that
the
we have
deficit
given
up.
in a long
More tax
time,
cuts.
so
Love
that
it.
those young families can afford to buy a crib, buy a car seat, buy clothes for their children. My passion, one of them, is small businesses. My mother raised my sister and me, but there was a woman who helped raise us. We
This
call
does
her
not
our
answer the
second mother.
question.
She was a small business owner. I love
This does
our
not
small
answer the
businesses.
question.
My plan is to give a $50,000
This does
tax
not answer the question. You're just
startups, small
reading off your points. You're pulling a
knowing
Trump.
They are part of the backbone
You're
of
pulling a
America's
Trump and you're just
economy.
reading your talking
My opponent,
points.
on the other hand, his plan
Ugh.
is to do what he has done before.
You didn't answer the
which is to
question.
provide a tax cut for billionaires
You
and
didn't
big
answer the
corporations,
question.
which will result in $5 trillion to America.
This is not answering the question.
My opponent has a plan that I call the Trump sales
Can we get a
tax,
fucking
which
host
would
that
be
will
a
just yell at them
20%
like they did on that
tax
fucking
on everyday goods
Colorado
that you
debate or
rely on
whatever?
to get through the month.
Like, you're not answering the
Economists have
question.
said that Trump sales tax would actually result for middle-class families in about $4,000
This did not answer the question.
more
Are
a
Americans
year
worse off than they were
because
before?
of his
I feel
policies
good.
and his
That's great.
ideas
Diamond push-ups to
about
fail?
what
How many did you
should
do?
be the backs
And
of
pull-ups? How many did you
middle-class
do?
people paying for tax cuts for billionaires.
President Trump, I'll give you 2 minutes.
I can't hear you.
First of all, I have no sales tax. That's
Oh,
an incorrect statement. She knows that. We're doing tariffs.
She
Other
knows that. She
countries-
knows.
other
Hey,
countries are
we're gonna
finally,
do so many
after
good things. So many good
75
things.
years, pay us back for all that we've
We're
done
gonna
for the
steal
world.
all the oil
And
from all the people. They're not
tariff
gonna
will
be able to
substantial in
have any
some
oil
cases.
anymore
It
because
took
we're gonna have it.
billions
This is gonna be
and
all
billions of
mine.
dollars, as you know, from China.
From
In fact,
China.
They never took the tariff off because it was so much money.
It was so good. It was such a good tariff. Everyone loves my tariffs. 20.
They've taken in billions of dollars from China
each?
and other places. They've left the tariffs on. When I had it, I had tariffs, and yet I had no inflation. Look, we've had a terrible economy because inflation.
Terrible,
which
so
is
bad.
is a country buster.
It's
It
ruined
breaks
this
up
country.
countries. We have inflation
He's actually doing
like
good.
very few
He's
people
actually
have
fucking
ever seen before.
destroying
Probably
her.
the worst in our nation's history. We were at 21%, but that's being generous
Not on
because many
pull-ups?
things are 50, 60, 70, and 80%
Not on
higher
pull-ups.
than they were just a few years ago. This has been a disaster for people, for the middle class, but for every class. On top of that, we have millions of people pouring into our country from
Millions.
prisons and jails, from mental institutions.
Millions.
and
Now he's just
insane
lying.
asylums.
Now
And
he's
they're
just
coming in and
lying.
they're taking
He's just
jobs that
making
are
it up.
occupied right
This
now
is
by
not true.
African-Americans and Hispanics.
Oh, shit. That's a
And
good one.
also
Nice kick.
unions. Unions are going to be affected
Bruh.
very soon. And you see what's happening. You see
Bruh.
what's happening with
What are you,
towns
bruh?
throughout the United States. You look at Springfield, Ohio.
Harkin, you better stay out of America. You better not take my job. You goddamn South American commie. You better stay out of my goddamn country. Stop taking my black jobs. Get away from my black jobs. Those are my black jobs. Only my blacks, not for you.
They're at the highest level of
I
criminality.
was on stairs, so you
and
can
we have
guess.
to get
I
them
was
out. We
on
have to get them out
stair?
fast. I
What does that
created
mean?
one of the greatest economies in the history of our country.
That's also
I'll do
untrue.
it again and even better.
Oh my god. That is such a good statement and it's so stupid and
Vice
wrong.
President Harris respond on the economy here.
Who's winning?
Well, I would love to.
Trump.
Let's talk about what Donald Trump left us. Donald Trump
All right,
left
there,
us
there,
the
say it,
worst
say it.
unemployment since
There
the
you
Great
go.
Depression.
There you go.
Donald Trump
There you
left
go.
us the worst public health epidemic in a century. Donald Trump left
Talk
us
about the deaths.
the
Talk about
worst
all the
attack on our
dead fucking people.
democracy since
Talk about the
Civil
insurrection.
War.
There you go.
And what we have done is
Cook 'em.
clean up
Cook his
Donald
ass.
Trump's mess. What we have done and what I intend to do is build on what we know are the aspirations and the hopes of the American people. But I'm going to tell you all in this debate tonight, you're going to hear from the same old tired playbook, a bunch of lies, grievances, and name calling.
True.
What you're going to hear tonight is a detailed and dangerous plan called Project 2025 that the former president.
She's just like, you're right. You're damn right.
I believe very strongly that the American
She's
people want
looking
a
up.
president who understands the importance of bringing us together, knowing we have so much more in common than what separates us. And I pledge to you.
She needs more Riz, dude. She needs more Riz.
President Trump will give you a minute here to respond.
Number one, I have nothing to do, as you know, and as she knows.
I did not.
anyone
I
has
didn't do
nothing
it.
to do with
You can't
pressure.
prove that I did any of those things.
That's out there.
Sexual assault can only be called that if they can prove
I'm
it.
not going to read it. This was a group
I will
of
never
people
read. I don't even know how to read.
Some ideas, I guess some good.
I will
some
never
bad.
read anything in my life. If I'm president, I'll just sign anything. I won't read it.
I'm an open book. Everybody knows.
I'm an
what
open
I've
book.
done.
I don't
Cut
read.
taxes very
I
substantially
cut taxes.
and
I just
create
cut
a great
things. I don't read
economy
them.
like I did before. We had the
I keep
greatest
documents.
economy. We
I don't
got hit
read
with a
them.
pandemic. And the pandemic was not since 1917.
Bro,
where 100
you
million people
fucked
died.
the pandemic.
Has
You
there been anything like
totally
it? We did
threw.
a phenomenal job with the
You did
pandemic.
not.
We had
Half
to
a million
come over
people dead.
country where
What
the
are you
economy
talking
and where the
about?
stock market was
Bro, it's
higher
the
than it
biggest.
was
It's the biggest
before the
political event
pandemic
of our
came in.
lifetime,
Nobody's
possibly.
ever seen
Well,
anything
maybe,
like
maybe
it.
not. We'll
We
see.
made
Depends when
ventilators
I'm
for the
running for
entire
president.
world. We got gowns, we got masks.
It is,
we
but
did
it gives me
things
the
that
same
nobody
vibber.
thought possible. And people
True,
give
true,
me
but
credit
he
for
does seem like a
rebuilding the
space marine.
military. They give me credit for a lot of things.
Gross,
but not enough
icky
credit for the
politic
great
man.
job we did with the pandemic.
Patooey.
But the only jobs they got were bounce back jobs. These were jobs.
Not good
bounce
jobs,
back. They
terrible
bounced
jobs,
back
not
and it
real,
went to their
fake
benefit.
jobs.
But I was the
All
one that
bouncy.
created them. They know it.
They
and
were
so does
bouncy jobs.
everybody else.
I made all the bouncy jobs. I love bounce. Everyone says I was the bounciest president.
And when you look at his economic plan, it's all about tax breaks
Let's
for the
see.
richest people.
True, facts.
I am offering what I describe as an opportunity economy, and the best economists in our country.
She's basically saying that we can't have free healthcare, we can't have free education, we can't have free, subsidized housing. All right, bye, Argan. Night.
Plan would make the economy worse. Mine would strengthen the economy. What the Wharton School has said
True.
is Donald Trump's
The school
plan
he went to.
would actually explode the
She
deficit.
needs a drink, dude. She
16
seems
Nobel
fucking
laureates
dry.
have described his economic plan as something that would increase
I don't know if he's calm or he's
inflation, and by the
tired,
middle
but he
of
looks
next
sad.
year would invite a recession.
Which is the same way he looked last
you
time.
just
but
have to look at
She's
where
definitely
we
more
are and
dynamic than
where we
Biden
stand
was,
on the
which is
issues.
not
And
a
I'd invite
big
you to
fucking
know that Donald Trump actually
thing.
has no
It's not.
plan for you
It's like a
because he
carcass
is more
versus
interested in
somebody
defending
speaking.
himself than he is in looking
It's not
out for
very
you.
hard to be more dynamic than Biden.
Thank you for that to say. Look, I went to the Wharton School of Finance, and many
Facts.
of those professors,
You
the
did.
top professors, think my plan is a brilliant plan. It's a
So,
great
name
plan.
one.
It's a plan
Name
that's gonna
one.
bring up our-
Name
our worth,
one.
our
There's not a
value
single
as a
fucking
country,
professor
to make
that is still there when you were there. You are you're
create jobs
78
and
years
create
old, 76
good,
years.
solid
You're in your
money
70s.
for our
The
country,
professors
for our
are no
country.
longer there.
And just to finish
What
off,
professor that is there
she
has called
doesn't
your
have a
plan fucking
copied
solid? Are you kidding
Biden's
me?
plan, and it's like
Name one.
4
Just one.
sentences, like run, spot, run. 4
Run,
sentences
spot, run. What does
are
that
just,
mean?
Oh, we'll try and lower taxes. She doesn't have a plan. Take a look at her plan. She doesn't have a plan.
Sir, I've been in
President, I
politics
do
for
wanna drill down
longer
on
than
something
you've
both
been
brought up.
fucking
The vice president brought
doing
up
anything, really.
tariffs. You responded, and let's
All you
drill
do is
down on
fucking
this,
complain
because
on Twitter.
Your plan is what she calls is essentially
or
a national
fucking
sales
truth,
tax.
or whatever
Your
the fuck.
proposal calls for tariffs, as you pointed
Name
out.
one thing you've done since you
foreign
weren't
imports
president.
across the board. You
One
recently
thing.
said that you might double your plan,
Other than
imposing
fucking
tariffs up to 20%
make
on
people
goods
angry.
coming into this country. As you know, many economists say that with tariffs at that level, costs are then passed on to the consumer.
Yep.
Vice President
Tariffs are
Harris has
stupid.
argued it'll mean higher prices on gas, food,
True.
clothing, medication,
True.
arguing
True.
it costs the typical family nearly $4,000.
Medication, I don't know. A lot of it's manufactured
Do you
domestically.
believe Americans can afford higher prices because of tariffs?
They're not going to have higher prices. What's going to
But-
have, and who's
Oh,
going
great.
to have higher prices
Great.
is China.
China.
and All of the
All the
countries that have
prices
been
will go to
ripping us
China.
off
That's
for
not how tariff
years.
works.
I charge.
That's
I'm
not
the
how
only
tariffs work.
President ever.
That's not how tariffs
China was
work.
paying us hundreds of billions of dollars, and so were other countries.
What?
And you know,
What?
if she doesn't like them, they should have
What?
gone out and they should have immediately cut the tariffs. But those tariffs are there 3.5 years now under their
They didn't pay us
administration.
anything.
We are going to take in billions of dollars, hundreds of billions of dollars. I had no inflation, virtually no inflation. They had the highest inflation perhaps in the history
The
of our
inflation-
country,
the tariff
because
is a
I've never
tax.
seen a
It
worse
goes on the
period of
consumer,
time.
dude.
People can't go out and buy cereal or bacon or eggs.
Actually,
or
the price of
anything
cereal
else.
has gone down, so is the price of
The
bacon and
people
eggs.
of our country are
Not
absolutely
obviously the
dying
before,
with what
but
they've
it's
done.
definitely lower.
They've destroyed the economy, and all you have to do is look at a poll. The polls say 80 and 85 and even 90% 90%.
What?
That the Trump economy was great.
What?
That their economy
What?
was terrible.
90%?
I want to ask for your response.
Where are these numbers coming
What you
from?
said there, because the Biden administration did keep a number of the Trump tariffs in place. So how do you respond?
Well, let's be clear that
I'm not
the
Biden.
Trump
Say I'm not Biden.
administration
I'm not
resulted in
Biden.
a
Say I'm not
trade
Biden.
deficit, one
Say
of the
I'm not
highest
Biden.
we've ever seen in the history of America.
Ugh.
He invited
Stop
trade
throwing.
wars. You want to talk about his
Stop throwing.
deal with China? What he
Stop
ended
throwing.
up doing is under Donald
Just say I'm not
Trump's
Biden.
presidency,
I'm not
he ended
Biden.
up selling American
3 words.
chips
I'm
to
not
China
Biden.
to help them improve
God,
and modernize
stop.
their military.
Stop.
Basically
What?
sold us out.
What do you
when
mean
a
sold us
policy
out?
about China should
China
be
should
in
have
making sure
access
the
to
United
technology
States
like
of
we have
America
access to
wins the
technology. Technology
competition
helps
of the 21st
progress the
century,
world,
which means
not just
focusing
war, you
on
fucking
the
idiot.
details of what that requires.
Oh my
Focusing on
God.
relationships with our allies, focusing on investing in American-based technology so that we
Ugh.
win the race on AI, on quantum computing.
We're not gonna win the race on AI and
Focusing
quantum
on what
computing
we
because
need to do to support America's workforce so that we don't end up having on the short end of the stick in terms of workers.
She's just trying to bail out fucking
But what
the
Donald
tech
Trump
industry
did,
of
let's
the
talk
billions,
about this, with
the
COVID,
trillion-dollar tech
he
industry in the
actually
U.S.
thanked
The thing
President
literally
Xi for what he
controlling
did
our
during
economy.
COVID. Look at his tweet. Thank you,
She wants to give it
President
more
Xi,
money?
Exclamation point. When
True.
we know that she was responsible for lacking and not giving us transparency about the origins of COVID.
President Trump, I'll let you respond.
First of all, they bought their chips from.
Why are
Taiwan.
you
we hardly
fucking
make chips anymore because
saying that he wasn't good friends with
philosophies like they have,
Xi
and
Jinping
policies
when he
like
criticizes
they have. I
him
don't
just
say
as
her
much
because
as he
has
says he
no
loves
policy.
him? He can play both
Everything that she
sides. Why are you doing
believed
this?
3 years ago and 4 years ago is out the window. She's going to my philosophy now. In fact, I was
Exactly.
going to send her a MAGA hat.
Exactly.
She's gone to my philosophy, but if
She
she
is
ever
a
got
fucking
elected,
Republican.
she'd change it, and it will be the end of our country. She's a Marxist. Everybody knows she's a Marxist.
Wait a second.
Her
But you
father's
can't
a
say she's
Marxist
copying your
professor in
policies, but
economics.
she's also
And
a
he taught
Marxist.
her
How does that
well.
even make sense?
When you look at what she's done to our country,
Dude,
and when you look at these
you
millions
just-
and millions
she
of
just said
people
the
that pour
opposite.
into our country monthly, where it's
What does that have to do with
21
Marxism?
million people, not the 15
What does that have to do with
people say. I think
Marxism?
it's a lot higher than the 21. That's bigger than New York State. coming in. And just look at what
It's-
they're doing to our country. They're
What are they doing to
criminals.
our
Many
country?
of these people coming in are criminals.
What is the crime
and
rate
that's
at?
bad for
What
our
are the majority
economy,
of
too. You know, you
criminals?
mentioned
Are
before,
they
we'll talk about immigration
immigrants?
later.
Or are
Well,
they
bad immigration
Native
is the worst
Americans?
thing
Are
that
they
can happen
people
to
not
our
Native
economy.
Americans, but are they
They
American
have,
citizens?
and she has
Who is in the prison
destroyed
system?
Our country with
It's
policy
people in
that's
poverty. It's not the
insane.
fucking
Almost
middle
policies that
class. It's the
say
people in
they
poverty.
have to hate our
I'm not
country.
muted. You're muted.
Thank you. Lindsay?
I want to turn to the issue of abortion. President Trump,
I
you often touted that you were
am
able to kill
not.
Roe v. Wade.
Shit, I was
Last
gonna
year,
say.
you said that you were proud to be the most pro-life president in American history. Then last month, you
I
said that
am
your
not.
administration would be great for women and their reproductive rights. In your home state of Florida, you
Wait,
surprised
you can hear me then.
with
Are you trying to
regard
troll
your
me?
6-week abortion ban, because you initially had said.
All right, hit him
that
on
it was
abortion.
too
There we
short,
go.
And you said, quote, I'm
Let's see
gonna
what
be
he says
voting
about
we
that.
need
This could be big.
more than 6 weeks. But then the very next
Maybe.
day, you reversed course and said you would vote to support the 6-week ban. Vice President Harris says that women shouldn't trust you on the issue of
They shouldn't.
abortion because
They
you've
shouldn't.
changed your position so many times. Therefore, why should they trust you?
Well, the reason I'm doing that vote is because
He's gonna
the
say it's
plan
about the
is, as
states.
you
It's
know,
about the
vote
states.
is
It's about the states. It's
they
about the
have
states.
Abortion in the 9th month.
This is not
they
true.
Even have, and you can look at the governor
is
of
not
West
true.
Virginia, the previous governor of West Virginia, not the current governor, is doing an excellent job. But the governor before.
Really? You're gonna use West
he
Virginia
said
as an example?
The baby will be born.
Really?
And we will decide what to do with the baby. In other words, we'll execute the baby. And that's why I did that.
So you're talking about
because that
a politician
predominates, because
who's
they're
no
radical.
longer in
The
office,
Democrats are
and that's who
radical
you're
in
citing as your
that.
source?
And her
That's a good
vice
source?
presidential pick, which I
Come
think
on,
is a
dude.
horrible
Get
pick,
better
by the way,
sources.
for our country, because he is really out of it. But her vice presidential pick says abortion in the 9th month.
You're gonna let her
is
waltz?
Absolutely fine. He also said
Waltz never said this.
execution after birth. It's an execution.
Waltz
no longer
never
abortion
said
because
either
the
of these things.
baby
You're really
is
gonna go after
born.
Waltz? He has so much
Okay.
more fucking play
And
than you
that's
do.
not okay with me. Hence the vote. But what I did is something.
Really, dude,
for
really.
52 years they've been trying to get Roe
This is
v.
not
Wade
true. This is not
into the
true.
states.
This is not
And
true.
through the genius and
Genius.
and strength of
The genius
Supreme
and
Court justices,
strength and
we
honor
were able to do that.
and
Now, I
the
believe in
coolest
exceptions
swag
for
in the
rape,
world.
incest and life of the mother. I believe strongly in it. Ronald Reagan did also. 85% of Republicans do.
Dude, this is so
Exceptions. Very
bad.
important. But we were able to get it, and now
Fucking
states
roast
are
him,
voting on
Kamala.
it. And
Do
for the first
something.
time
Jump on his ass.
This is an issue that's torn our country apart.
No, it has
for
not.
52
70% of
Every
Americans
legal
support
scholar,
fucking
every
Roe v.
Democrat,
Wade.
every Republican,
70%.
they all wanted this issue to be brought back to
No,
the
they
states so
didn't.
people could vote. And
No
that's
one
what
asked. No one asked for this.
Now, Ohio, the vote was somewhat liberal.
Yes, the
Kansas,
majority.
The vote was somewhat liberal.
The majority.
The people would have thought.
The majority.
But each individual state is
No,
different. It's the
they're
vote of
not.
the people now. It's
The
not tied
only
up in the
states that
federal
have put through an
government.
abortion ban were not on a ballot. They were through the fucking House of Reps that were in each state, or the Senate of each state, through Republican representatives. This has not
I
happened.
want to get your response to President Trump.
Well, as I said, you're going to
She
hear a
about
bunch
to
of
burst.
lies.
It's the red
and
coming
that's
through
not
their
actually
nose.
a surprising fact.
Celeste, after the
Let's
debate, I
understand how we
guess.
got here.
We can. Well, no, I need to play a new game for the night.
Hand-selected
And then
3 members of the
probably in
United
the
States
stream.
Supreme Court with the intention
Pick a
that
new
they would
game.
undo the protections of
Let's
Roe
see
v.
what
Wade.
we got.
And they did exactly as he intended.
True.
And now in
Roast
over
him, dude.
20 states,
Get his ass.
there are Trump
Play your scratch
abortion
game?
bans.
I don't know
which
about that
make
one.
it criminal for a doctor or nurse to
True.
provide health care. In one
True.
state, it provides prison for life.
True. Facts.
Trump abortion bans that make no exception even for rape and incest.
Exactly.
Which understand what that means. A survivor of a crime, a violation to their body,
Roast
does
his
not
ass.
have the right to make a decision about what happens to their body next. That is immoral.
I might have Ori. That sounds familiar.
And one does not have to abandon their faith
Not on fucking
or
Epic.
deeply held beliefs
Me.
to agree. The government and Donald Trump certainly should not be telling a woman what to do with her body. I have talked
Maybe
to
I'm
women around our country. You want to talk about this is what people wanted? Pregnant women who want to carry a pregnancy to term, suffering from a miscarriage, being denied care in an
Did it work? I
emergency
didn't
room
go.
because the healthcare
Hold on.
providers are afraid they might go to jail, and she's bleeding out in a car in the parking lot.
Steam stopped.
She didn't want that. Her husband didn't want that. A 12 or 13-year-old survivor of incest.
Hey, Donnie. Hi.
forced to
Let's
carry a
listen to
pregnancy to
Kamala
term?
cook about incest.
They don't want that. And I pledge to you, when
True.
Congress passes a bill to put back in place the protections of
Not
Roe
if,
v.
but when.
Wade, as
Strong.
President of the United States, I will proudly sign it into law. But understand, if Donald Trump were to be reelected, he will sign a national abortion ban.
Dude, she needs to talk about what she's
Understand,
gonna
in
actually do, not
2025,
fucking say this.
there
That
would
once
be
the
a
Senate
national
does something.
abortion- a monitor that would be monitoring your pregnancies, your
I could.
miscarriages. I think the American people believe
I could pop it
that
out.
certain
Shit.
freedoms, in particular the freedom to make decisions about one's own body,
I keep pausing.
should not be made by the government.
Thank you, Vice President Harris.
Well, there's Democrats, Republicans, and everybody else.
Harambe.
Every
Facts.
legal
True.
scholar
True.
wanted it to be brought back into the
Bring back
states, and
Harambe,
the states
dude.
are voting. And it
The
may
states
take
are
a long
voting
time,
against
but for 52
abortion, like
years,
against
this
banning
issue
abortion.
has torn our
Name one
country
state that hasn't
apart.
banned that has
And they
banned abortion
wanted
on a
it
ballot
back in the
measure. Name
states,
one.
And I did something that nobody thought was
They're
possible.
all fucking ultra conservative
The states are now
states, and they
voting.
haven't even.
What she
I'm gonna look it
says
up. I don't
is
even think
an
there's a single
absolute
state that's
lie.
put it on the ballot
And
measure.
as far as the abortion ban, no, I'm not in favor of abortion ban, but it doesn't matter because this issue has now been taken over by the states.
Would you veto a national abortion ban if it
Well,
came
I
to your
won't
desk?
have to because, again, two things.
Don't answer the
she said
question,
she'll go
dude.
back to
Answer the
Congress, she'll
question.
never get the vote. It's impossible for her to get the vote.
Impossible.
Especially now with the 50-50.
See, that's the point. Why did you do that,
essentially
Kamala? You walked into
50-50
that. You could have said. You didn't have to say that.
She's not going to get the vote. She can't get the vote. She won't even come close to it. So it's just.
Why'd you
off.
walk into that,
You know what it
Kamala? That was so
reminds me of when they
stupid.
said they're going to get student loans terminated, and it ended up being a total catastrophe. The student loans, and then her, I think probably her boss, if you call him a boss, he spends all his time on the beach. But look, her boss went out and said, we'll do it again. We'll do it a different way. And he went out, got rejected again by the Supreme Court. So all these students got taunted with this whole thing about this whole idea. And how unfair that would have been, part of the reason they lost, to the millions and millions of people that had to pay off their student loans, they didn't get it for free. But they were saying it's the same way that they talked about that they talk about abortion.
But if I could just get a yes or no, because your running mate, J.D. Vance, has said that you would veto it if it did come to your desk.
Well, I didn't discuss it with J.D. In all fairness, J.D. And I don't mind if he has a certain view, but I think he was speaking for me, but I really didn't.
So out of the 10 states that put the fucking abortion on the ballot, all 10 confirmed rights to abortion. All 10. The only one that might not have is looks like fucking Nebraska. What did Nebraska do? Amend the Constitution to ban abortion in the second and third trimester, except the medical emergencies. Did they do it? I don't think so. Says they confirmed it. So they banned it in the second and third trimester. From what though?
Reinstating the protections of Roe v. Wade, and as you rightly mentioned, nowhere in America is a
South Dakota? Did South Dakota vote to ban it? They might have both banned it.
and asking for an abortion. That is not happening. It's insulting to the
South
women
Dakota,
of America.
it looks like banned abortion. Under ballot measure? I'll have to look.
Couples who
I'm voting for Harambe. Who cares?
and dream of having a family are being denied IVF treatments. What is happening in our
welcome
country?
to the alert, Cole.
Working people, working women who are working 1 or 2 jobs, who can barely afford childcare as it is, have to travel to
Going to blow
another
up
state
some spiders? What game are we
to
playing?
get on a plane sitting next to strangers, to go and get the health care she needs. Barely can afford to do it, and what you are putting her through
True.
is unconscionable.
Cook him! Cook him!
And the people of America have not, the majority of Americans believe in a woman's right to make decisions about her own body, and that is why in every state where this issue has been on the ballot, in red and blue states both, the people of America have voted for freedom.
Cook him! Cook him!
Respond. Another lie. It's another lie.
What do you mean?
I have been a leader on IVF.
I can't stand his voice, dude.
The IVF, I have been a leader. In fact, when
They
they
both
got
have
a
annoying
very
voices, to be
negative
fair.
decision on IVF from the Alabama courts, I saw the people of Alabama and the legislature
All the
2 days
people.
later voted it in. I've been a leader on it. They know that, and everybody else knows it. I have been a leader on fertilization, IVF. And the other
They
thing,
didn't vote on it. They put it through the legislator, you piece of shit.
we'll
Stop
see
lying.
abortion in the 8th month, 9th month,
Stop
7th
lying.
month. Okay, would you do that? Why don't you ask her that question?
Why don't you
That's
answer
the
the
problem.
question, would you
Because
veto?
under Roe v.
Answer
Wade,
the question,
you
would you
could,
veto?
you could do abortions in the 7th month, the 8th month, the 9th month.
Under a doctor's fucking recommendation to save the life of the mother, you fucking cunt.
The governor of
Me.
Virginia
Piece of shit.
said we put the baby aside.
Actually, that's fake news. Yeah, literally.
We're gonna
You
turn
pushed
now
up
to
the glasses.
immigration.
Actually.
You know, it's an issue that's important to Republicans, Democrats, voters across the board in this country. Vice
What a
President
piece of
Harris,
shit.
you were tasked by President Biden with getting to the root causes of migration from Central America. We know that illegal border crossings reached a record high in the Biden administration. This past June, President Biden imposed tough new asylum
I don't think there's a single
restrictions. We know
state
the
that
numbers
banned it
since
via
then have dropped
ballot
significantly.
measure.
But my question to you tonight is, why did the administration wait until 6 months before the election to act? And would you have done anything differently from President Biden on this?
So I'm the only person on this stage who has prosecuted transnational criminal organizations
God, I hate
for the
this.
trafficking of guns,
Such a shit
drugs,
response.
and human beings. And let me say that the United
In
States Congress,
2019,
including
South
some of the
Dakota
most
was
conservative members of the United
one of
States
6 states in the nation with only 1 abortion clinic in the entire state. What's a banning abortion even had to do at that point? One abortion clinic for the entire state.
So are working there right now,
Insane.
overtime, trying to do their job.
You basically
would have
banned it
allowed
already.
us to stem
And now
the
they
flow
have,
of
but
fentanyl coming
fucking
into the
cunts.
United States. I know there are so many families watching tonight who have been personally affected by the surge of fentanyl in our country. That bill would have put more resources to allow us to prosecute
It's
transnational
illegal for a
criminal
physician to
organizations
prescribe
for
abortion pills in the
trafficking
state
guns,
of South
drugs, and
Dakota.
human
That's
beings. You know what
insane.
happened to that bill? Donald Trump got on the phone, called up some folks in Congress, and said, kill the bill. And you know why? because he'd prefer to run on a problem instead of fixing
I don't think there's a single
a
state that
problem.
voted on a ballot
And
measure.
understand, this comes at a time where the people of our country actually need a leader who engages in solutions, who actually addresses the problems at hand. But what we have in the former president is someone who would prefer to run on a problem instead of fixing a problem.
Yeah, they're putting it on a
And
ballot
I'll tell
measure,
you something. He's going
but
to talk about immigration a
see.
lot tonight, even when it's not the subject that is being raised. And I'm going to actually do something really unusual, and I'm going to invite you to attend one of
He
Donald
does.
Trump's rallies, because it's a really interesting thing to watch.
That's what I'm telling my parents to
will
do.
see
Go to a
during the
fucking
course of
Trump
his
rally.
rallies, he talks about
I don't think he'll be a
fictional
Trumper
characters
anymore.
Like Hannibal Lecter. He will talk about windmills cause cancer. And
Facts.
what you will also
Windmills
notice
causing
is that
all my
people
cancer.
start leaving his rallies early out of exhaustion and boredom. And I will tell you, the one thing you will not hear him talk about
Dude,
is
she's
you.
citing a
You will
fucking
not hear him
TikTok.
talk about your needs,
There's it's
your
literally a
dreams, and
TikTok
your
where people
needs and
troll
your
her
desires.
him going to his
And I'll tell you,
rallies
I
and then leave
believe
early.
you deserve a
She's using
president who
TikTok as
actually
my
puts you
source.
first, and I pledge to you that I will.
It's so
Vice
funny.
President Harris, thank you. President Trump, on that point, I want to get
Source,
your
TikTok.
Let me just ask, though, why did you try to
Short-
kill
source
that bill, and
is Gen Z.
successfully so, that would have put
Got
thousands
him.
of additional agents and officers on the border?
First, let me respond as to the
Please.
rallies. She said people
I have the
start
best
leaving,
rallies.
people
They're
don't go
so
to her
cool.
rallies. There's no reason to
They're
go.
so lovely.
And
Everyone
the people
loves my
that do go,
rallies.
she's bussing them in and paying them
Bussing.
to
So
be
what
there.
we want-
And then showing them in a different light. So
Oh, God.
she can't talk about that. People don't
is
leave my
for
rallies.
more
We have
young
the biggest
people
rallies, the
to be
most incredible
supported
rallies in the history of
and
politics.
mentored and getting
That's
those
because
skills
people want to take
at community
their country
colleges,
back.
at
Our
apprenticeships
This is why she
run by
loves.
labor
We're
unions
a
and
failing nation.
businesses.
And it happened 3.5 years
Not even
ago.
the fact she's a piece of shit. It was just this.
What's going on here, you're going to end up in World War III, just
Because
to
we're
go into
going to
another
have
subject.
a lot of jobs.
What
jobs
they have
from
done to our
building
country by
infrastructure
allowing
to
these millions and
coding.
millions of people to come into our country.
Creating
God damn
new
it, Trump.
apps.
Stop talking about immigrants
happening to
again.
the towns
I don't
all
know who
over
created
the United States. And a lot of towns
Pokemon
don't want to
Go.
talk. Not going to be Aurora or
Whoa,
Springfield.
she
A
said
lot
the
of towns
words.
don't wanna
But
talk
I'm
about it
trying to
because they're
figure
so
out
embarrassed by
how
it.
we get them
In
to have
Springfield,
Pokemon
Let's go to the
polls.
polls. Oh, so it's mwah, chef's kiss, Hillary. Chef's kiss. What a beautiful statement.
Of the people that
what a
live
beautiful
there. And this is
beautiful
what's
moment in
happening
history.
in our country. And
Why can't we
it's a
get one of
shame.
those during this election? I want to see
As far
Kamala
as
tell me to go Pokemon
rallies
Go
are
to the
concerned,
polls.
As far as the
Come
reason
on,
they go is
Kamala.
they like what I say.
Get me
They want
engaged.
to bring our country back. They want to make
Back from
America
what,
great
dude?
again. It's a very simple phrase. Make America great again.
You're saying kick out all the
She's
immigrants.
destroying this country, and if she becomes
No, she wasn't
president,
sponsored by
this
Pokemon.
country
If she
doesn't
was,
have
you
a
would have voted for her.
chance of success.
That's for sure.
Not only success, we'll end up being Venezuela on steroids.
Venezuela. Everything's going to shit.
Springfield, Ohio, and ABC News did reach out to the city manager there. He told us there have been no credible reports of specific claims of pets being harmed, injured, or abused by individuals.
Oh my God, he's
in the
getting
immigrant
roasted.
Community.
Well,
All
I've seen
this.
people on television.
Let me just say.
But I saw the TV. I watched TV and it told me that the people did it. I watched TV. TV told me, so I'm using it as a source. To be fair, she used TikTok as source, so he can use TV as source. It's only fair.
Again, the Springfield city manager says there's no evidence of that. Vice President Harris, I'll let you
We'll find out. We'll do the research.
Talk about
We're gonna eat them ourselves if they won't.
you know,
I love a good cat in the morning. You know, they cook so well.
election, I actually
Dude, that would win the election. If Biden reacted to this debate and had a good reaction, that would win the debate. I promise you. It would swing. It would swing it so hard. He needs to do a Twitch react. Biden, I'm inviting you officially to my stream to come and you react live here on the Zinni stream. Other than this, that's already you, but that's a different version. We'll take that down if you come on.
His former chief of staff of
So she released a campaign ad that basically just had like all his prior, all these people who came out and said that like he sucks. Pretty good ad, kind of funny. He did go on Logan Paul podcast, and he just fucking did this. He just fucking spat lies the whole time.
And when we listen to
He was like, "You won't believe how many immigrants I've seen. There's so many, millions of immigrants, and they took my job. They took your job. You don't even know it yet, but they will. Black jobs, they'll take them. All the jobs.
See, I'm a different kind of a person.
I'm a different kind of guy. I hate all immigrants equally. Venezuelan, Colombian,
I fired him.
South American, anything, I hate
They
them.
didn't fire anybody having to do with that.
They won't fire people. I fire people. I hate people. I hate immigrants and I hate people.
Just killed viciously and
That's why I want you to do no abortions. I love people. I love when people don't kill people. But when they do, it's kind of cool.
people, because that was one of the most incompetently handled situations anybody
What's he even
has
talking
ever
about?
seen. So
Dude, what
when
are you
somebody
fucking
does a
yapping
bad
on
job,
about?
I fire him. And you take a guy
Who
like
did you fire?
Esper, he was no good, I fired him.
Who did
So
you
he writes
fire?
a book. Another one writes a book, because with me they can write books, with nobody else can they? But
What do you mean? This is like a normal thing. People get fired and write books all the time.
anybody. Look at the
This
economy. Look
always
at the
happens
inflation.
during a fucking
Fire any of
administration.
Their
What do you
economists. They have
mean?
the same people. That's a good way not to have books written.
Wait a
about
second.
you.
Wait a
But
second.
just to
He
finish,
fired all the economists that were telling him his fucking ideas suck, and then he just hired ones that told him he was right? Genius! Why didn't I think of that?
votes than any president.
At least he admits it.
In history, by far.
If you don't fire your economists, they'll tell you're wrong, and they won't let you do what you want to do, so you just have to fire them. That's where she gets it wrong. She won't fire them. Thank you, Cloud. Very stinky debate going on.
Domestic deportation operation in the history of our country.
Yes, roast him on this. Roast him. This is inhumane. This is disgusting. Can you imagine the rounding up millions of people in America and putting them in concentration camps, removing them from your homes, taking them away from their friends, their families, their jobs? This is ridiculous.
It is much higher because of them. They allowed criminals, many millions.
How many of them? How many? Millions? Really? Millions? I'm not voting, dude. Fuck that shit. There's nothing to vote for.
And then now in the United States,
It's two fucking idiots.
by their countries like
Kamala won't
Venezuela,
fucking go up. She won't say. She won't. She's not saying anything. She's not stopping him. She's not. She's basically saying, no, he's right. They're all fucking immigrants. They're all criminals, and we won't kick them out, but we will kill them.
And this will be one of the greatest mistakes in history for them to allow.
Dude, he's doing Nazi shit. This is what fucking Hitler said when he was running for election. He was saying there's too many immigrants. They're taking all of our resources. They're taking our jobs. They're ruining our country. We need to do something about these immigrants. That is what Hitler ran on. This is the exact rhetoric that Hitler used. Verbatim.
All over the world except here. Crime here is up and
Crime is down.
Despite their fraudulent
Oh
statements.
my god, dude.
Crime in this country is through the roof.
Trump, when's the last time you got crimed on, dude? You are a criminal. You've been indicted 36 times. What do you mean? You are the criminal.
Overall, violent crime is actually coming down in this country. But
You have more criminal charges than the average American, which is zero.
The worst cities. They didn't include the cities with
What?
the worst crime. It was
What cities?
A fraud.
It was fraud.
Their number of 818
They're not real.
jobs that they said they created turned
They're
out to be a
fake
fraud.
jobs, fake numbers.
Well, I think this is so rich.
Real criminals, fake numbers,
From
though.
someone who has been prosecuted
Got him.
for
Got him.
national security crimes, economic crimes, election interference, has been found liable.
Roast his
for
ass. Get
sexual
him.
Assault, and his next big court appearance is in November.
This is what she
at his own
practiced. This is what she did
criminal
in the
sentencing.
mirror.
And let's be
She is
clear.
not good. She is
Where
not
each
dynamic.
person stands on the issue of what is important about respect for the rule of law.
Dude, Americans are
respect for
too
law
fucking
enforcement.
stupid and
The
racist for
former
this.
vice
I don't know
president called
what
for
this is gonna
defunding
do.
Federal law enforcement, 45,000 agents. Get this. On the day
Get
after he was
this.
arraigned
I'm
on
getting it.
34 felony counts.
No way.
So let's talk about what is important
Whoa.
in this race. It is important that we move forward, that we turn the page.
What does that mean, though,
on this
Kamala?
same old
What does that
tired
mean?
rhetoric and
You are
address
doing Biden v2. What does
needs of
that
the
mean, turn the page and go
American
forward?
people. Address what we need to do about the housing
Does that just
shortage,
mean
which
more
I have
fucking
a
tax
plan
breaks?
for. Address what we must do to support our small business.
I mean, the
Address
$20,000
bringing down
free.
the price of groceries.
Not gonna lie, it's pretty nice.
Frankly, the American
But
people
it's such a stupid short-term solution. It's so stupid. It doesn't fix the underlying issue, which is there's not enough fucking
Every one of those
houses.
cases was started by them against their political opponent. And I'm
This is really politics. Yeah, this is literally what politics is. This is literally a politics. It's just two stupid people that's fucking arguing about dumb shit and giving terrible solutions to the problems, or making up the problems entirely.
The Justice Department, every one of those cases.
This is honestly probably
from Atlanta and Fani Willis
better than politics usually is, because politics is usually more boring, even more boring than this.
Every one of those cases, and then they say, "Oh, he was."
Hey, do something funny. I can't make funny men say dumb shit. I don't know. I can't make fucking Trump say dumber shit.
They said, "Oh, that's the toughest of them all." A complete and total victory 2 months ago.
What can I do that's funny?
It's and they used it.
Jesus!
Happened in this country.
Was that funny?
To try and win an election.
That was mean, Cloud. That hurt.
Thank you. A really quick
I wasn't prepared for that.
Harris on this notion of weaponization.
Get blinded?
Well, let's talk about extreme and understand the context in which this election in 2020.
Honestly, I might have to figure out how to lower the brightness on this if I can. It's not possible. It doesn't have like a switch or anything. It's just one level. It is too bright, dude.
Understand, this is someone who has openly said he would terminate, I'm quoting, terminate the Constitution.
Dude, he's the
of
Terminator.
United States.
He should. He should terminate the fucking Constitution. Fuck the Constitution.
Against his political enemies. Someone who has openly
Trump's like, oh my god, this is so cool. She's literally reciting all my coolest moments. She's glazing me so hard. These are all my greatest wins, where I said I would use the Constitution as toilet paper.
It's up to the American
It's so cool that she's citing all my cool points.
Vice President Harris, in your last run for president.
This is the one that weaponized.
He says, excuse me.
I probably took a bullet
She
to the
didn't.
head
She did not say
because of
enough cool
the
shit about
things
me.
that they say about me. They talk
She didn't
about
even get shot at.
democracy. I'm a threat to democracy.
I got shot at.
They're
She did
the
not.
threat to democracy.
She shot at me. That was her. She was actually the one that shot at me.
Vice President Harris,
This is
in your
like a
last
steal?
run for president, you said you wanted to ban fracking. Now you don't. You wanted mandatory government buyback programs
What
for
is
assault
this?
weapons. Now your campaign says
Dude, we
you
need to get
don't.
one of
You
these.
supported decriminalizing border crossings.
Is
Now
it a
you're
playing
taking a
card?
harder
Oh,
line.
fire,
I know
dude.
you say that your values
25 bucks? What a steal, dude. What a steal.
policy positions changed.
Can I get 10 of them?
My values have not changed. and I'm
Limited
gonna
edition.
discuss every
Fire.
At least every point that
All right,
you've
this is
made,
her
but in
coming out as a
particular, let's talk about
Republican.
fracking because we're here in Pennsylvania. I made that very clear in 2020.
She's like, I love
will not
fracking.
ban
It's so
fracking.
cool.
I have not banned fracking. As
What does
Vice
that mean?
President
It just
of the
means
United States.
it's
In fact,
fucking
I was
in a
the
case.
tie-breaking vote on the Inflation Reduction Act.
That's all it
Which
means.
opened new leases for fracking.
She's like, I am a Republican. I will frack everything. All the oil, mint
Diverse
condition.
sources of energy.
I
We
have
reduced
Trump
our
cards at the
reliance on
ready.
Foreign oil. We have had the largest increase in domestic oil production in history.
Great,
because
great.
of
That's
an approach
awesome.
that
We can
recognizes
fucking destroy the world
cannot
with all the
over-rely
more
on
oil
foreign
production and fucking
As it
feed
relates
the
to my
oil
values, let me
moguls
tell
who
you, I
control
grew
our
up a
economies.
middle-class kid,
I love it. Let's do more of that. Fuck green energy. Screw reducing oil. Screw trying to reduce our fucking dependency on these billion-dollar companies that to make all the decisions in our politics. Let's just give them more oil money. Let's just do that. That sounds like a great idea. Love that. Super cool. Thanks,
work with the private
Kamala.
sector and home builders to increase 3 million homes.
We're gonna give all the housing to the private builders. We're gonna let them jack up the rents, and then we're gonna give them money to give to the people so that they can buy the expensive homes that are way too overpriced. And we're gonna give them free money to buy the expensive homes.
Of standing up for those who are most vulnerable. My work that is about protecting Social Security and Medicare.
How?
is
How are you
based on
gonna do that?
longstanding work
How you
that
gonna
I
do
have
that?
done, protecting seniors from scams.
How you gonna do that?
My values have not
What have you done to protect
And
senior
what
citizens?
is
They scammed
important
all
is
the
that
fucking
there is a
time.
president who actually brings values and a perspective that is
She's
about
gonna kill off all the old people with COVID. That's how she's gonna protect them from scams. If they're dead, they can't be scammed. Solutions. She's the one with solutions. She's doing it, man. She's doing the damn thing.
Leader who actually understands the strength is not in beating people down, it's
True.
in lifting people up.
True.
I
I believe
intend
that.
to be that president.
Will you, though?
Trump, your
Well, first of
response?
all, I wasn't given $400 million. I wish I was. My father was a Brooklyn builder, Brooklyn, Queens.
Okay, you were
Great
in
father,
modern day
and I learned
money,
a lot
you
from him,
shit.
But I was given a fraction of that, a tiny fraction, and I built
You
it into
were not.
many, many billions
You were
of
not.
dollars. Many, many billions.
You were not.
And when people see it, they
It's called
are even
inflation.
surprised.
The price
So
of
we
the
don't have to
dollar
talk
compared to
about
the
that.
modern day dollar
Bracken,
is
she's
about
been
$400
against
million.
it for 12 years.
She should be.
Defund the police. She's been against
Yeah,
that
fuck the police.
forever. She gave all
She is a
those
cop. What do you
up
mean?
very wrongly, very horribly, and everybody's laughing at it, okay? They're all laughing at it. She gave
Oh, well, they're
at
laughing.
least 12 and probably
Can't you see
14 to
them?
15
Donnie's
different
laughing right
policies.
there.
She was
The
big on
world.
defund the police. In Minnesota, she went out. Wait a minute, I'm talking now.
Wait, she didn't say anything!
Please.
What? What?
Does that sound familiar?
What? Oh my god, dude. No, I hate. Damn, bro.
She went out
Donnie not even
Minnesota
support your ass.
and wanted to let criminals that killed people, that burned down
Donnie's out here fucking
Minneapolis,
stone-faced.
She went out and raised money to get them
Me.
out of jail. She did things that nobody would ever think of. Now she wants
Don't
to
you
do
remember that? Don't you love that? When Kamala went around with the key and let out all the criminals? That was super cool when she did that. I loved when she did that.
She wants to confiscate your guns, and she will never allow fracking.
Don't
in
you remember when she
Pennsylvania.
did that? She
If she won the
she
election,
went around with
fracking
a
in
key
Pennsylvania will
and
end
a
from day
magnet
one.
and a
Just to
plug,
finish
and she
one
just
thing,
plugged up all the
so important, in
fracking
my
holes.
opinion.
She used a magnet to steal all the
I got the oil
guns,
business going like
and
nobody
she
has ever
she
done
let out all the
before.
criminals.
They
She did it all on the
when
same
they
day.
took
It was
over,
really impressive.
They got rid of it, started getting rid of it.
It does.
And the prices were going
I know you're not
up
American. You're the
through
world.
roof.
In
They
this example, you were the
immediately
world
let these
laughing at
guys
us.
Go to where they were. I would have been 5 times, 4 times, 5 times higher because you're talking about 3.5 years
Higher
ago.
what? What does that mean?
They got it up to where I was because they had no choice.
What, the
because
stock market?
prices of energy were,
Oh, no.
were quadrupling
Price of
and
gas?
doubling. You saw what happened to gas.
Bro, the price of gas was at an all-time high under you. What are you talking about?
But if she won the election, the day after that election,
What-
they'll
what
go
are
back
you
to
talking
destroying
about?
our country, and oil
Bro,
will be dead.
bro,
fossil
what
fuel
are you
will be dead.
talking
We'll go
about?
back to windmills,
What
and we'll
are
go
you
back
talking
to
about?
Solar, where they need a whole desert to get some energy.
Bro,
to
what
come
are
out.
you
ever
talking
see a
about?
solar plant? By the way, I'm a big fan of solar.
You are not. This is a lie.
400, 500 acres of desert.
The price of oil over the last 10 years hit an all-time high, or all-time low? Well, that was COVID numbers. But it
I want
was
to talk about the
all-time.
transfer of power, which
Wow,
of course
man,
we all
I'm
know is
fucking
a
all over the place.
cornerstone of our democracy.
2015, all-time high, above.
Mr. President, on January
I guess he was
6th,
elected in
you told your
2016.
supporters to march to the Capitol. You said you
Yeah,
would
I
do
guess
right
he can still say that, even though they got the price of oil down. He can still claim that it's at an all-time high, and it was at an all-time low because of COVID under him. Technically, he's not lying. He's just making it up. He's not lying. He's just making it up.
Telling your supporters to go home. Is there
Like, look at the price of oil in the
anything
80s.
about what you did?
Not even close.
You just said a thing that.
Also, the price of oil
isn't
needs to be
covered
maintained so that we can
peacefully
pump
and
oil at a
patriotically.
profitable
I said
price in
during my
America.
speech,
So
not later on.
you don't want a high price of oil.
Peacefully and patriotically. And nobody on
So
the
he's
other
saying,
side was
so he's saying that the price of oil was
Ashley
super
Babbitt
low,
was shot
but it also
by an
was not.
out-of-control police officer.
He
that
just
should
had
have
COVID.
Never, ever shot her. It's a disgrace. But we didn't do this group of people that have been treated so badly. I ask,
What
what
group of
about
people?
all the people that are pouring into our country and killing people that she allowed
How many?
to pour in? She
How
was
many?
the border czar, remember
Be
that.
honest. How many
She
people are
was the
dead because of
border
the
czar. She doesn't
fucking
want to be called
immigrants?
the border czar
Just be
because
honest
she's
about it.
embarrassed by the border. In fact,
It's
she
like
said at the
20,
beginning,
26.
Oh, I'm surprised you're not talking about
Not
the border yet."
millions.
That's because she knows what a bad job they've
That's
done.
like one school
What
shooting,
about
dude.
those people?
One festival
when are they
shooting.
going to be prosecuted? When are these people
Those are rookie
from
numbers,
countries
bud.
all over the world, not just South America? They're coming in from all
I hate all
over
immigrants, not
the
just South
world,
America.
David.
Haiti,
All over the world.
South Africa, India. I hate all the immigrants. China, get them out of this country. Iran, no thank you. More like I run. Run away from them. Get away from me. Dirty immigrants. How dare they?
Percentage of the city of Seattle. When are those people gonna
Minneapolis is in shambles. It's not even real. It's burnt down. The city doesn't exist anymore. They used to call it the Twinny City. Now it's the Single City because it burnt down.
Regret about what you did on that day.
Now they only have the other side.
I had nothing to do with that other than they asked me to make a speech. I showed up for a speech. I said, I think it's going to be big. I went to Nancy Pelosi and the mayor of Washington, D.C.
I didn't do it. They can't prove it was me.
I said, you know,
I didn't do it in the insurrection. It was just a cool day where I was being very sexy, and then there was a bunch of Americans who decided to raid the Capitol. It was just a coincidence.
National Guard or soldiers. They rejected me. Nancy Pelosi rejected me. It was just
It was your
2 weeks
choice.
ago, her
You were the
daughter
president.
had a
What do you
tape of her
mean?
saying she is fully responsible for what happened. They want to get rid of that tape.
You were the president. What do you
It would have
mean?
never happened if Nancy Pelosi and the mayor of Washington did their jobs. I wasn't responsible for security.
You led
Nancy
the
Pelosi
people
was
there.
responsible
It doesn't matter if she was
for doing
responsible
her
for
job.
security. You led the people there. What are you talking about? Why would it matter if she was responsible for security? You led the people there. What are you talking about?
January 6th. I was the vice president-elect. I was also the acting senator. I was there. And on that day, the
She's like, I was there. It was so sick.
incited a violent mob
I love that. That was
to
awesome.
attack our nation's capital.
I was one of them. I was one of the
Our
insurrectioners.
nation's capital. On that day, 100
Kamala's base,
law
dude.
enforcement officers were injured.
She was single-handedly insurrectioning.
And understand, the former president has been indicted and impeached for exactly that reason.
True.
But this is not an isolated situation. Let's remember Charlottesville.
Bring it up.
There was
Nazis.
a mob of people
Nazis.
carrying tiki torches,
American
spewing anti-Semitic
white
hate.
supremacist Nazis on U.S. soil.
Then at the time
And he was president.
There were fine people on each side.
People died that day.
Remember,
And he said they were
when
fine
it
people.
came to the Proud Boys, a militia. The president said,
Cook
the
his
former
ass.
president said, stand back and stand by. So for everyone watching who remembers what January 6th was, I say we don't have to go back. Let's not go back. We're not going
This is
back.
not strong at all.
It's time to turn the page.
I'm not American. I know
And
you're
if
not
that
American.
was a bridge too far
wait,
for
that's
you,
old.
well, there is a place in our campaign for you to stand for country, to stand.
Dude, this is
for our
not strong at all.
democracy,
She's
to
not. She's not
stand for rule of
seeming
law,
strong.
and to end the
You're still not
chaos,
American? Damn it! Why is that not
and
changed?
to end the approach that is about attacking
I thought like
foundations
5
of
minutes
our
ago. You know, you might have
democracy,
got that
because you don't like the
figured out.
outcome. And be clear on that point. Donald Trump, the candidate, has said in this election there will be a bloodbath. If this and the outcome of this election is not to his liking.
He's like, it's so cool. I can't wait. I love it. I want to do a bloodbath. It's gonna be so
For
cool.
the future, and not go backwards to the past.
Let me just follow up here.
It was a different
Dude, cut his
term.
ass
It was
off.
a term that related to energy because they have destroyed our
What?
energy business. That was where bloodbath.
What
was.
is that?
Also, on Charlottesville, that story has been, as you would say, debunked.
What?
Laura
Debunked?
Ingraham, Sean Hannity,
Debunked?
Jesse, all of these.
What do you
people,
mean?
They covered it. If they go an extra sentence, they will see it was perfect.
They were
It's
neo-Nazis!
debunked in almost every
What do you mean?
But they still bring it up, just like they.
They openly said they were neo-Nazis. You said there were good people on both sides. What do you mean,
Why
debunked?
are we allowing these millions of people
What?
to come through on the southern?
What is
border? How
that?
come she's not
What does
doing
the
it?
immigrants have to do with the
And
neo-Nazis?
I would be very proud to.
You are the
I
fuck.
would say we would.
The
both
neo-Nazis
debate right now.
are
I'd like to see her go
hate
down
the immigrants.
to Washington D.C.
What do you
during
mean?
this debate because we're wasting a lot of time.
They're the
Go
ones
down
trying to
to
shoot the
it's been
immigrants.
so bad, it's so
Is that why you're
ridiculous.
saying there's good
Go
people on
down
both
to
sides because they want to shoot
Washington,
the
D.C.
immigrants?
And let her sign a bill to close up the border because they have the right to
What
do
is-
it. They don't need bills. They have the right to do it. The president of the United States. you
Stop
get him out of bed,
talking
you
about
wake him up at 4
immigration.
o'clock
I
in the
swear to
afternoon, you say,
God,
"Come
it's
on,
not even
come
fucking
on down to the
relevant."
office, let's sign a bill." If
What
he-
percentage
if
of
he
our budget
signs
goes
a
towards
bill
immigration?
that the
What
border is
percentage of the
closed, all he has to
GDP
do is say it
is
to the
from
Border
immigrants?
Patrol, who are phenomenal.
What
If
percentage
they
of our
do that,
health
the
care
border
is spent on
closed,
immigrants?
those
What
people
percent of our
killing many
education
people
is spent on
on
immigrants?
G6.
What does this have to do with anything? What percentage of crime is done by immigrants? It's not
It
relevant.
really brings us this into focus, truly, in these times that we're living in. Mr. President, for 3.5 years after you lost the 2020 election, you repeatedly falsely claimed that you won.
You repeatedly lied. It was super cool. We love that. We love a lying king. The talking cartel very strong. We love that.
That you, quote, didn't quite make it. That
You were
came up
super
a little
cool for
short.
4 years.
Are you-
How
are you
cool
now
is your 4 years going to
acknowledging
be
that
after
you lost
this?
in
No, I
2020?
don't acknowledge that at all.
But
I
you
said
did
that
say that.
sarcastically. You
But
know
those-
that. It was, "Oh,
Sarcastic.
we lost by a whisker. That was said
We
sarcastically.
never lost. I only lie about pretending to admit that I
And
lost.
they should have sent it back to
He
the
is an annoying
legislatures
art.
for approval. I got almost 75 million
Yeah, I
votes,
got
the
this.
most votes any sitting president has ever gotten. I was told if I got 63, which was what
That's
I got
not
in
how
2016,
the election works,
you
Trump.
can't be beaten.
We don't do it by the number of
people
votes
should never
cast.
be
We do it
thinking
by
about
who
an
has
election
more.
as fraudulent.
That
We
is
need
not
two
how it
things. We need
works.
walls,
You need
we
more
and we
electoral
have to
college
have it.
votes. It doesn't
We
matter
have
how
to
many
have
votes are
borders,
cast.
And we have to have good elections. Our elections are bad. And a lot of these illegal immigrants coming in, they're trying to get them to vote. They can't even speak English. They don't even know what country they're in practically. And these people are trying to get them to vote. And that's why they're allowing them to come into our country.
I did watch all of these pieces of video. I didn't detect the sarcasm.
That's not even a
lost
picture.
by
What the
whisper.
hell?
We didn't quite make it. And we should just point out here as clarification, and you know this, you and your allies, 60 cases in front of many judges, many of them
No
Republican.
judge looked at it.
And said
They
there was
said
no
we didn't have
They wouldn't even look.
That's the other thing.
The judges, they were like, this is so cool. We're not even gonna look.
Can you imagine a system where a person in an election doesn't have standing? The president of the United States doesn't have standing.
Can you
That's how we
imagine the
lost.
president being a
If you
complete
look at the
idiot
facts that
like
I've
myself?
argued, you
It's
do a
insane.
special on it. I'll show you Georgia, and I'll show you Wisconsin, and I'll show you Pennsylvania.
I will show
and
you
I'll
a bunch of made
we
up
have So many
things.
facts and statistics.
So many
But you know
things.
what?
You won't
That
believe how many
doesn't
things I
matter,
can make up
because we have to
right on the
solve
spot.
problem that we have right now. That's old news. And the
Old
problem that we
news.
have right now is we have
Not
a
real news,
nation
fake
in
news.
decline, and they have put it into decline. We have
True
a
facts,
nation
spitting.
that is dying, David.
Mr. President, thank you.
Spitting,
Vice
dude.
President Harris,
He's
you heard
spitting.
the president there tonight. He said he didn't say that he lost by whisker. So he still believes he did not lose the election that was won by President Biden and yourself. But I do want to ask you about something that
She should just be like, I won so hard. It was so cool. And Trump lost so spectacularly. He couldn't handle it. He's a little baby bitch. He couldn't even admit it.
And then he lists donors, voters.
That's what she should do.
officials. He
If
says
she
we'll be
was
prosecuted to the
based, that's
fullest
how she
extent of
would
the law,
react.
which will include long-term prison sentences. One of your campaign's top lawyers responded saying, we won't let Donald Trump intimidate us. We won't let him suppress the vote. Is
Yes,
that what
let's
you
put him in
believe he's
prison.
trying to do here?
Put his ass in
Donald
prison.
Trump
Lock
was
him up.
fired by
Lock
81
him
million
up.
people. So let's be clear about that. And clearly he is having a very difficult time processing that. But we cannot afford to
Dude, I
have a
cannot fucking
president
edit
of the
photos for my
United
life. What
States
the hell?
who attempts, as he did in the past, to upend the will of the voters in a free and fair election. And I'm going to tell you that I have traveled the world as Vice President of the United States. And world leaders are
You didn't do shit as
laughing
VP. No one does anything as
I have
VP.
talked
Don't even
with
pretend like
military
you did.
leaders, some of whom worked with you, and they say you're a disgrace.
True.
And when you then talk in
Most of the
this
people who
way
worked with Trump
in a
don't like him.
presidential debate
To,
and deny
to be honest.
what over and over again are court cases you have lost because you did in fact lose that election.
Can I just export this
It
photo?
leads
Come on.
one to believe that perhaps we do not have in
Perhaps.
the candidate to my right the temperament or the ability to not be confused.
It's like she's
about
just coming to
facts.
this conclusion.
That's deeply troubling, and the American people deserve better.
I'll give you 1 minute to respond, Mr. President.
Let me just say about world leaders. Viktor Orban, one of the most respected men.
Why are you talking about Viktor Orban for? What does he have to do with anything?
Smart. Prime Minister of Hungary. They said, why is the whole world blowing up? 3 years ago, it wasn't. Why is it
She flew
blowing
on
up?
airplanes. She
He
deserves
said
this
because
country.
you
True
need
girl boss. She was so
Trump back
cool.
as president.
She did all
They
the
were afraid of
things.
him. China was
Absolute
afraid,
presidential
and I don't
material.
Like to use the word afraid, but I'm just quoting him.
Welcome, Stream
China
Ivy.
was afraid of him. North Korea was afraid of him. Look at what's going on with North Korea, by the way.
North Korea, look at
Russia
it.
was
What is
afraid
going
of
on in
him.
North Korea?
I
What?
ended
How is
the
that even
Nord
relevant?
Stream 2 pipeline.
When's
and
the last
Biden
time
put
that
it
North
back
Korea was
on
even
day
in the
one, but
news,
he
dude?
ended the XL pipeline. The XL pipeline in our country, he ended that. But
Yeah,
he
it's
let
'cause
the
it's a
Russians
shit
build the
pipeline.
going all over Europe and
It was
heading into
stupid.
Germany,
We
the
need less
biggest
pipelines.
in the world.
North Korean general says a country to increase number of
Viktor
nuclear
Orban
weapons exponentially.
He said
Oh
the
my
most
God, these pro-Trump.
respected, most feared person is Donald Trump.
Xi
He
Jinping
had no
sends green
problems
North
when
Korea.
Trump was
Oh my God.
president. But when
Fucking
this weak,
Putin is
pathetic
telling
man that you saw at
North
a
Korea
debate
to
just a few
make more
months
nukes.
ago, that if he
Confirmed.
weren't in that debate, he'd be
Landed on
running
the
as
sun.
controversial. He got
Facts.
No votes. He got 14 million votes. What you did, you talk about a threat to democracy. He got 14
Pragmatism?
million votes, and they threw him out of office.
I don't think
And you know
there
what? I'll
is
give you
any
a little
news
secret.
about
He
North
hates
Korea.
her. He can't stand her.
It's
But
just
he
saying
got
he's gonna boost his
14
nukes,
million
which is
votes.
like, okay.
They threw him out.
With
She
what
got
money?
0 votes. And when she ran, She was the first one to leave because she
Trash
failed.
carrying balloons over
And
the
now
border.
she's running.
Sick.
I don't understand it, but
Mr.
I'm okay
President.
with
Yeah,
it.
so
because
what does that have to do with it? Like, why is he bringing up North Korea?
Turning now to the Israel-Hamas war and the hostages who are still being held, Americans among them. Vice President Harris, in December, you said, quote, Israel has a right to defend itself, but you added, quote, it matters how, saying international humanitarian law must be
Maybe she's the
respected.
orange.
Israel must do more to protect innocent civilians. You said that 9 months ago. Now an estimated 40,000 Palestinians are dead. Nearly 100 hostages remain.
Yep.
Just last week,
Your
Prime Minister
administration,
Benjamin
how you
Netanyahu
gonna
said
react to
there's
that?
not a deal in the making.
You fucking
President
orange.
Biden has not been able to break through
Dumb
the
orange lady.
stalemate. How would you do it?
Well, let's understand how we got here.
I flew around the world, and I learned about all the
A
things.
terrorist organization slaughtered 1,200 Israelis.
How many of them were fucking military members? How many military members did Hamas
Women
kill?
were horribly raped.
What percentage of the people
I
killed
said
on
then, I
October
say now.
7th were
Israel
military
has a right to
members? Do
defend
you
itself.
know?
We would.
Do you know?
And
I
how it
know.
does so matters.
64%.
Because it is also true. Far
The
too many
majority of people
innocent
killed on
Palestinians
October 7th were not civilians.
Children,
They were
mothers.
military. You know who the majority of
is
people
that
dying in Gaza
this
are?
war must
Women and
end.
children.
It must end immediately.
Fuck
and
off,
the way it will
Kamala.
end is we need a ceasefire deal and we need the hostages out.
How about you do
And so
that
we will
yesterday
continue to
instead of
work
standing on
around
this
the
fucking
clock
stage?
on that.
How about you stop
Work
sending
around
fucking
the clock,
bombs
also
to
understanding that we
Israel?
must
How about you
chart
do
a
that?
course
Maybe
for
then there will be a
two-state
ceasefire.
solution. And in
Maybe if
that
you tell the
solution,
aggressor
there
to
must be
fuck off,
security for the
they
Israeli
might, you know,
people and
stop killing
Israel,
people.
and in equal measure for the Palestinians. But the one thing I will assure you,
Maybe if Hamas was the aggressor, we could
Israel
bomb the
the
shit out of
ability
them.
to defend
But they're
itself,
not.
in particular as
They
it
only
relates to-
aggressed once.
as it relates to Iran and any threat that
At least,
Iran
you know,
and its
recently. I'm not talking about the
proxies
fucking whole
pose to
history.
Israel. But we must have a two-state solution where we can rebuild Gaza.
I believe in a
where the
one-state solution,
Palestinians
personally.
have security,
But either way,
self-determination,
this
and
is
the
not a
dignity they
solution.
so rightly deserve.
This is not a solution.
President Trump,
Israel
how
will
would you
never
negotiate
stand for a
with
two-state solution in its
Netanyahu
current state.
and also Hamas in order to get the hostages out and prevent
they don't
the
want a two-state
killing of
solution.
more innocent civilians in Gaza?
If I were president, it would have never started. If I were
I would have
president,
killed all the
Russia
Palestinians
would have never,
single-handedly. I would have
ever-
went around
I know
and
Putin
chopped them all
very
up.
well. He would have never, and there was no threat of it.
I would have
either, by the
given
way.
more
Terrorists
bombs to
have gone into Ukraine
Israel.
and killed millions of people.
I would have
and you ended up
detached
far worse than
Ukraine
people
from the
understand what's
continent of
going on
Europe
over
and
there.
launched it into the
When she
sun.
mentions about
So it wouldn't have been a
Israel, all of
problem.
sudden,
I would have used North
she
Korean
hates
rockets
Israel.
to launch
She wouldn't
Ukraine
even
in the
meet
sun.
with Netanyahu
Issue
when he went to Congress
done.
To make a very important speech.
No more
She
issues.
refused to be there because she was at a sorority party of hers. She wanted to go to the sorority party.
Yeah, that's a shiny-ass
She
pin.
hates Israel. If she's president,
She hates
I
it.
believe that Israel
I love
will not
Israel. She
exist
hates
within
it.
2 years
You're an
from now. That's
American,
a pretty
dude.
good
Shut the
prediction,
fuck
but I
up.
hope I'm wrong about
Stop
that
glazing up
She
Israel.
hates Israel. At the same time,
Who gives a
in
shit?
her own way, she
Even
hates
if
the
she did,
Arab
who gives a shit?
population Because the whole place
You know how many Americans
is
know
gonna get
Israelis?
blown up.
Almost
Arabs,
none. The
Jewish
majority of
people,
Americans have no
Israel-
attachment to this
Israel
country of
will be
Israel.
gone.
So why?
Never
Why would
happened.
the majority of
Iran was
Americans
broke
care about
under
this?
Donald Trump. Now Iran has $300 billion because they took off all the sanctions that I had. Iran had no money for Hamas
Great.
or Hezbollah.
Great. So
or
it's
any of the
Iran's
28
fault.
different,
I knew it.
spheres of
I knew it all
terror.
along. It was
And they are
Iran's fault,
spheres
and
of
Trump
terror,
could have stopped it.
horrible terror. They had no money. It was a big story, and you know it. You
So,
covered it
so
very
the
well,
Hamas
actually. They had
attack
no money
that
for terror.
Iran
They
did not
were
know
broke.
about is
Now
still
they're a
Iran's
rich
fault?
nation, and now what they're doing is they're spreading that money around.
We're spreading
Look
the
at
money
what's
around. We're the ones
happening
paying for
with
the
Houthis
bombs.
And Yemen. Look at what's going on in the Middle East. This would have never happened. I will get that
Oh
settled
my
and
God.
fast.
He's
and I'll
acting
get
like the
war
Middle East hasn't been a
with
hotbed for
Ukraine
war and
Russia
instability
ended.
for
If
the
I'm
last
president-elect,
fucking
I'll get it done
century,
before even
and it's
becoming president.
been
Vice
split up
President
by
Harris says you hate Israel.
superpowers,
That's
which has led
absolutely
to the
not
continued
true.
conflict.
I have my entire career and life supported Israel and the Israeli people. He knows
Just
that
passed was on September
he's trying
7th.
to again
Rip.
divide and
missed our
and
anniversary.
distract from
No!
the reality, which is it is very well known that Donald Trump is weak and wrong on national security.
He's so
and foreign
weak. He's
policy.
so
It
wrong.
is well known that he admires dictators, wants to be
He
a
does.
dictator on day
Facts.
one, according to himself.
Facts. Spitting.
It is well known that he said of Putin.
Dude,
that
he has such a
he
bad,
can
like,
do whatever
resting
the hell
bitch
he wants
face.
and go into Ukraine. It is well known
Where's
that
my
he
orange?
said when Russia went into Ukraine, it was brilliant. It is well known he
It was so
exchanged
cool.
love letters with Kim Jong-un, and it is absolutely
Nice.
well known.
Welcome to
that
Twitch.
These dictators
Happy
and
anniversary.
autocrats are rooting.
I think my
for
Twitch
you
account is
to
like
be
from
president
2012.
again because they're
Like
so
12 years old.
clear. They can manipulate
I don't know when it
you
was made.
with flattery and favors. And that is why so many military leaders who you have worked with have told me you are a disgrace. That is
She's
why
gonna hammer this.
we understand that we have to have a
I don't know if
president
this is a good
who
talking
is
point or
not
not.
consistently weak and
Depends how it
wrong
polls.
on
I mean, I
national
assume she's done the
security,
work to
including
see
the
it polls well.
importance of upholding and respecting in highest regard our military.
Vice President
Nice.
Harris, thank you.
They're the ones, and she's the one that caused it. That's weak.
It's all her
national
fault.
security by
She did
allowing
it.
Every nation
I wouldn't
last
do it.
month
I've never done
of the year,
anything.
168 different countries sending people into our country. Their crime rates are
They're
way
not
down.
sending people.
Putin
They're
endorsed her
migrants.
last
They're
week.
immigrants.
Said, "I
They're
hope she
people looking
wins."
for a
And I
better
think he
life.
meant
This
it.
has always been how
Because what
America's
he's
worked.
gotten
We've
away
always
with
taken
is
in immigrants.
absolutely
I
incredible. It wouldn't have
have
happened
family
The
but once was an
leaders of
immigrant,
other
and then I
countries think that they're
became a
weak
citizen
and
by
incompetent,
them
and they
giving
are.
me the
They're
fact to
grossly
be born here.
incompetent. And I just
Otherwise,
asked
I'd
one
be
question.
European,
Why
like
does Biden
you.
go in and kill the Keystone Pipeline and approve the single biggest
Because I don't think
deal
either one of us are
Russia's
Native
ever made,
American.
Nord
Maybe
Stream
fucking
2, the
Kamala.
biggest pipeline anywhere in
But
the world,
obviously
going
not.
to
She's fucking
Germany
black and
all over
Indian.
Europe.
But my point is, that
Because
neither one of
they're
us
weak and they're ineffective.
are
And
Native
Biden,
American.
by the way,
President
gets paid
Trump,
a lot of money.
Thank you. We have a lot of issues to get to.
We'll be right back with much more of this historic ABC News presidential
Kamala was
debate
ready.
from the
She was
National
pouncing,
Constitution
dude.
Center right here
She
in
was
Philadelphia.
getting ready to strike. Doing the Hawkeyes. What a beautiful American debate. Lovely. So good. Makes you feel so patriotic to the people of the community. So good. So loud. I hear myself think. That's what America is. Loud noises, explosions, and guns. What beautiful, beautiful people. Beautiful words. Trump puts his basest claims about immigration's eating the pets. Yeah, fucking knew he was gonna do that. No, it's just a break. Just a break, Donnie. Just a stupid 5 minutes recess. Or however long it goes. I don't know how long it is gonna be. 4-minute recess, my bad.
According to him, and wrong.
No. I just wanted to see what it said. Former President Trump during Tuesday's presidential debate pushed the basest claims of Haitian immigrants eating Ohio's, eating dogs and other pets. California officials say mom who pushed for DUI laws was drunk, unconscious, with dead toddler. What the hell? What does that have to do with anything? Say mom who pushed for DUI laws was drunk and had an unconscious with a dead toddler. What does this have to do with anything? That's so random. My favorite relative is Uncle Sam. Dude, I love Uncle Sam. We have an Uncle Sam emote in the Twitch chat. I can't show you because you're in the YouTube chat.
Pamela Anderson was an icon.
Really proud of everything I've done.
It's Pamela something. Who is that? Let's see if I can find my Zinny Sam emote.
You're 24.
I'm 27.
Yeah.
Gross.
It just seemed like I had met my soulmate.
You fired.
Who can find their soulmate when they're double your age? I don't get that. That's just gross to me.
The 32-year-old former ballerina.
That's not the emote, Donnie.
Here we go.
Where are my fucking emotes?
You haven't spoken out before. Why did you decide to talk now?
Oh, you know what? I'll look on Discord. That'd be easier. What do you guys think? Bye, Donnie. See you later. See you tomorrow. See you another time. Have fun. Bye. See you later. Have fun with school or whatever you're getting up early for. Bye. Let's see.
You don't just see it, you feel it.
I don't know what game we're gonna play after this. I gotta play something. Get my daily game out of the way. Dude, where the heck did I put these emotes?
This is Impact.
Actually, I'll just open Photoshop.
My sense was that everybody around him was afraid of him.
How much time we got left?
Describes how they
secret abortion, minute and a half. Does Tox Tuesday examines possible effects of toxic metals and tampons. Wow. Yeah, that's fucked up. That's been going on for a while. I'm on Ozempic. No, I'm not. But I could be on Ozempic. Here we go. Uncle Zinni. Oh, that's right. I deleted it because it was 20 gigs. Well, whoops. Now it's gone forever. You saw it for a split second before I deleted it. I don't know where I exported the render. Here we go. Maybe it's in my photos.
Premieres this September only on Hulu.
Let's go.
We are heading into the unknown.
Oh my gosh.
We just saw what no one has seen.
How did I lose? And I gotta organize my files. Get around doing that one day. What do you guys think of the debate so far? Who do you think is winning? I think that honestly, Harris is doing a good job at here it is. Here it is. Uncle Zinni. I want you. It's one of the emotes in the chat. I think all of these are emotes in the chat. But anyway. Let's see what fucking Hossan says about the debate so far. I'm gonna guess he's gonna say that Harris is not killing it, but she's doing a good defense.
He looks like Celtic Shaq. You're saying he's an insult to Celtic Shaq. Oh, there it is. It's back.
Yeah.
Let's see if he can clutch this out.
I think it's over.
Debate tonight. We're going to continue.
Yeah.
So they think that she's cooking? I mean, she's doing good D.
It's been the position of the Biden administration that we must defend Ukraine from Russia, from Vladimir Putin, to defend their sovereignty, their democracy. Conflict.
I can't pause it.
It's been the position of the Biden administration that we must defend Ukraine from Russia, from Vladimir Putin, to defend their sovereignty, their democracy, that it's in America's best interest to do so, arguing that if Putin wins, he may be emboldened to move even further. You have said you would solve this war in 24 hours. You said so just before.
This is such a dumb statement by Trump. He needs to be cooked for this.
That? And I want to ask you a very simple question tonight. Do you want Ukraine to win this war?
I want the war to stop. I want to save lives that are being uselessly.
So he's going the peaceful dove route.
Killed by the millions.
He's saying, I just want peace. I hate people dying. I will kill them myself, but I hate when other people have to get killed.
For $250 billion.
It's only good when I do it.
Because they don't ask Europe, which is a much bigger beneficiary to getting this thing done than we are. They're in for $150 billion less because Biden and you don't have the courage to ask Europe like I did with NATO.
So they're not paying enough to Ukraine, but also if we paid more to Ukraine, then there'd be a ceasefire? What does that mean? How does that even make sense?
Like weak people, but you take a look at what's happening. We're in for 250 to 275 billion. They're into 100 to 150.
Escalating the war by having Europe put more money in and more weapons towards the war won't escalate anything. It will actually just end it? That's the solution?
I have a good relationship and they respect.
Oh, okay, my bad. He's just going to call Putin up and be like, please, Mr. Putin, can you stop invading Ukraine? It'd be super sick if you could just not do that anymore.
In 2 years to Putin. Hasn't spoken to anybody.
This is true. He has not talked to Putin. But what is he to talk about?
That's dying to be settled. I will get it settled before I even become president. If I win,
why didn't you do that 4 years ago? You could have been doing it at any time. In the last few years, you could have called up Putin and asked him to stop. But you can't because you're more president. Is that the reason? You couldn't work with the current president to stop it? No, because you don't give a shit about the American people. You don't give a shit about the Ukrainian people. You don't give a shit about anyone but yourself.
I said, oh.
If it was as simple as a phone call, why didn't you just make the phone call? Huh? Such a stupid argument.
Biden had no idea how to talk to
America sucks. Yeah, fuck America. People say the most voice is gross, like it's a real word. I think it's gross. Injustice.
World War III. Don't kid yourself, David. We're playing with World War III, and we have a president that we don't even know if he's. Where is our president?
Where is he? He's disappeared. I haven't seen him. I don't. He's not real. He's probably dead.
Is he our president?
Is he our president or is he dead? I can't tell.
That doesn't know he's alive.
Your time is up.
He's 4 years older than you, dude. Like, you're about to be his age when you fucking leave office if you were elected. How can you make that fucking argument?
And just get it done.
How would you get it done? You did not make. You could have negotiated a deal as a non-president, right? You could have worked with the current president to negotiate a
I
deal.
want to get your thoughts.
What do you mean?
Support for Ukraine.
How is that a solution?
In this moment,
How do you
but also
negotiate? What do you
as
offer? What are you going to
Commander-in-Chief,
offer Russia to end the war? You
how
didn't
would you
answer
deal
the
with Vladimir
question.
Putin, and would it be any different from what we're seeing from President Biden?
Well, first of all, it's important.
It's going to be
to
exactly
remind
the
former
same.
president you're
It's
not
going to be
running
Biden
against Joe
V2.
Biden,
It's going to be
you're
so
running against
sick and awesome. Everyone loves it.
I believe the reason that Donald Trump says that this war would be over within 24 hours is because he would just give it up. And that's not who we are as Americans.
I'm confused by
Let's
your
understand
statement,
what
Ivy.
happened
The
here.
word moist is gross.
I
Like it's
actually
original.
met
The word
with
I think
Zelensky
is
a few
gross,
days
injustice.
before
What does that mean?
Russia invaded, tried through force to change territorial boundaries, to defy one of the most important international rules and norms, which is the importance
you're
of
moist? I am
sovereignty
very
and
moist.
territorial integrity.
I'm sweating, dude.
And I met with President Zelensky. I shared with him American intelligence about how he could defend himself. Days later, I went to NATO's eastern flank, to Poland and Romania. And through
I stole from Bo
work
Burnham?
that
Oh.
I and others did, we brought 50 countries together to support Ukraine in its righteous defense. And because of our support, because of the air defense, the ammunition, the artillery, the javelins.
So what's
the
she suggesting?
Abrams
She's just
tanks
going to
that
give them
we
more
have
weapons
provided,
now on the war?
Ukraine stands as an independent and
Deep
free
dive.
country. If
We
Donald
can
Trump
listen to that
were
in the background.
president, Putin would be sitting in Kyiv right now. And understand what that would mean, because Putin's agenda is not just about Ukraine. Understand why the European allies and our
What the
NATO
hell?
allies are so
Where's it playing out
thankful
of?
that you are
That
no
was weird.
longer president,
I have to reopen
and
it,
that
but-
we understand the importance of the greatest military alliance the world has ever known, which is NATO, and what we have done.
Dude, stop sucking off
to
NATO. That doesn't get
preserve
votes.
The ability of Zelensky and the Ukrainians to fight for their independence. Otherwise, Putin would be sitting in Kyiv with his eyes on the rest of Europe, starting with Poland. And why don't you tell the 800,000 Polish Americans right here in Pennsylvania how quickly
All
you
right,
would
music's
give
up.
up for the sake of favor.
We need to support our
and
own
what
people
you think
for
is a
them.
friendship.
Dude, we're not
what
support.
is known to be
We're literally not.
would eat you for lunch.
We are sending fucking bombs. We would have to blow up ourselves in the middle of the desert in fucking Arizona. If we didn't send the bombs that we gave to Ukraine, they would have just gone in the fucking ground and we would have to clean up the shrapnel. Instead, they're getting blown up in the Donbass. It does not cost us money to send munitions that we're going to waste anyway. The munitions that we fucking stockpiled, that we built up with the billions of dollars in our military budget, it's not fucking real money we're sending to Ukraine. It's just fucking bombs that these warmongers have been building up for decades. It's so stupid.
And eventually, maybe he'll use
Yes, there
them,
is
maybe
actual
he'll
legitimate
be
aid
back
going to
with
Ukraine.
them.
Legitimate aid that would go to Ukraine regardless because they're in a war. And we support countries that defend themselves because we believe in freedom. We would do the same thing for anything in Asia, same thing for anything in Africa, same thing for anything in the Middle East. We always support wars. We spent billions of dollars rebuilding Afghanistan and Iraq. Billions.
That war should have never started. She was
It's-
the
it's-
emissary.
people
They
just don't
sent
know.
her
They just
in
don't
to
know.
Negotiate with Zelensky and Putin, and she did. And the war started 3 days later. And that's the kind of talent we have with her. She's
This is
worse
too
than Biden.
vibey for
In
a
my
debate.
opinion, I think he's the worst president in the history of our country. She goes down as the worst vice president in the history of our country. But let me tell you something. She is a
This is very
horrible
vibey, though.
negotiator. They sent her in to negotiate. As soon as they left, Putin did the invasion.
President Trump, thank you. You did bring up something. You said she went to negotiate with Vladimir Putin. Vice President Harris, have you ever met Vladimir Putin? Can you clarify tonight?
Nope.
Yet again, I said it at the beginning of this debate, you're going to hear a bunch of lies coming from this fella. And that is another one.
What's happening?
When I
No
went to
problem.
meet
We're
with
just watching the
President Zelensky,
debate.
I've now met with him over
Getting
5
angry.
times.
Just fucking
The
around.
reality is, it has been about standing as America always
Let's do
should.
the reset. True, dude. True. Don't let them go to waste in the desert. Let's bomb Chicago.
As a
Facts.
leader who shows strength understanding that the
Gotcha, dude,
alliances we
gotcha.
have around the world
Well, this is an
are
exception.
dependent
Usually it's just gaming,
on our
so
ability to
once
look
this is
out
over,
for
we'll do
our
that and have some more song
and
press.
not
If that's
favor our
aight.
enemies because you adore strongmen instead of caring about democracy. And that is very much what is at stake here. The President of the United States is Commander-in-Chief.
God damn it, Cole.
And the American people
You
have
got
a
me.
right to rely
I need a drink, dude. This
on
is
a
making me
president
driving
who
me to drink
understands the
an energy drink.
significance of America's role and responsibility in terms of ensuring that there is stability and ensuring we stand up for our principles and not sell them for the benefit of personal flattery.
We've talked about
It's only
Ukraine
like
and Vladimir
10
Putin.
o'clock.
I do
It's
want
not
to
too
talk
late
about
for an energy drink,
Afghanistan.
right?
It came up in the first hour of this debate. I want to move on to Afghanistan.
Said Trump did the most amazing thing
This
I've
will
ever
relieve
seen.
any stress.
He got these countries,
True.
the 28 countries at the time, to pay up. He said, "I've never seen." He's the head of NATO. He
Head
said,
of
"I've
NATO.
never seen." For years,
Never
we were
ever.
paying almost all of NATO. We were being ripped off by European nations, both on
Ripped
trade
off. They
and
were
on
stealing
NATO.
from us.
I got
Terrible
them to pay
NATO.
up by saying one of the statements you made before. If you don't pay, we're not going to protect you. Otherwise,
Why would we? They're
He said
disgusting.
it was one of the most incredible.
Have you ever seen a Greek person? Disgusting. I would never protect NATO. They smell so bad. I'd much rather support all of the people that support me, like the white nationalists in North Carolina. They're so cool. Very cool guys. All my supporters in prison, we will get you free.
President Biden's decision to pull out of Afghanistan. 4 presidents said they would, and Joe Biden did.
We're gonna have the most vibey debate react on Twitch.
The $300 million a day we were for. And as of today, there is not one member of the United States military who is in active duty in a combat zone in any war zone around the world. The first time
True.
in a century.
True,
Let's
she's
understand
spitting.
how we got
She's spitting.
to where we are.
He is not a peaceful dove. We have not had a single war since Biden's been in office. We've had more cheese than ever before. And Biden and Trump will not admit to Biden's success in the market of cheese.
And here's how it went
It's made our economy so cheesy, so delicious. With the best cheese.
Directly with a terrorist organization called the Taliban. The
True.
negotiation involved the Taliban getting 5,000
True.
Taliban terrorists released. And
True.
get this. And
And then they overthrew the government and they killed
invited
13
the
fucking
Taliban
service
to
members.
David, a place of storied significance.
Okay,
for us
that's
as
wrong. She should not be
Americans.
criticizing him for inviting people
The
to
importance of
Camp David
American
to do peace
diplomacy where we
negotiations. That's
invite and receive
they're just because they're
respected
terrorists
world
doesn't mean that
leaders.
they're not
And
should not be negotiated with. We do negotiate with
former
terrorists.
president,
We should
as
negotiate with
president,
terrorists. They're
invited
legitimate
them
actors
to
that
Camp
need to be
David
negotiated
because
with.
he does not again appreciate the role and responsibility of the President of the United States to be Commander-in-Chief with a level of
Case in point,
respect.
Taliban
And this
is
gets
the
back to
current governing
how
body
he has
of
consistently
Afghanistan.
disparaged and
So if you're saying you can't
members of our military,
negotiate with
fallen
the
soldiers,
Taliban, you're saying you can't
and the
negotiate with the
work that
entire
we
country
must
of
do to
Afghanistan
uphold
at any
the
point
strength
into the foreseeable
and the
future,
respect
which is just
of the
untrue.
United
We
States of
literally
America
work
around the
with
world.
the Afghani government to do terrorist raids on ISIS. So saying that we can't work with the Taliban is just ludicrous. That was just a dumb statement.
The Taliban was killing our
The Taliban was so cool. I wanted to play pool with them. I wanted to invite them over and have a sleepover. I love the Taliban.
Taliban was doing the killing.
They were
the
so
fighting force
sick
was
and
in
awesome.
Afghanistan. They don't bother doing that because they deal with the wrong people all the time. But I got it.
She's like, what the fuck is he on about?
Abdul. is the
Abdul.
head of the Taliban. He-
Abdul, the guy, he was so cool. He was so
And I
sick.
told
He rizzed me
Abdul,
up so
"Don't do it
hard.
anymore. You do it anymore, you're gonna have problems."
Abdul.
He said, "Why do you send me a picture?"
I
of
put up my hand. I said, Abdul, don't do that.
Abdul. And
Don't
for
do it.
13
Don't do it,
months,
Abdul.
we had
You're looking at the
nobody.
wrong guy.
We did have an agreement negotiated by Mike Pompeo. It was a very good agreement. The reason it
Paul,
was
is
good
that you?
was we were getting out. We
Abdul.
would have been out faster than
Abby
that, but we
Bob.
wouldn't have lost the soldiers. We wouldn't have
Abby
left as many
Babby.
Americans
Alright, song
behind.
crossed off
We
till you
wouldn't
guys
have
submit
left-
something.
We wouldn't have left $85 billion worth of brand new, beautiful military.
Beautiful military equipment. It would have went straight into Ukraine. We would have been so sick. We would have just taken it from one place and put it in another. Isn't that crazy? We have so many fucking bombs that we can leave billions of dollars in fucking equipment in Afghanistan and still have leftovers to send to Ukraine. Isn't that fucking nuts? Fuck both of these people, dude. Fuck these warmongers.
In my opinion, the most embarrassing moment in the history of our country. And by the way, that's why Russia attacked Ukraine.
Exactly why, because they saw we were weak.
And her boss.
He saw a shirtless photo of me and he saw all my flabs and he was like, that is gross. I'm invading Ukraine.
Mr. President, you recently said of Vice
The war makes
President
money?
Harris,
Didn't you know?
I didn't know she was
Shit.
black until a number
I'm a
of years
capitalist. I
ago.
forgot. My bad,
She
my bad,
happened
my
to
bad.
turn black, and now she wants to be
GG's. GG no
known
re.
as
We're
black.
capitalists. We love
I
war.
wanna ask a bigger
War is
picture
super
question
cool,
here
super
tonight.
sick.
Why do you believe
Not
it's
enough war.
appropriate
I think
to
there needs to be
weigh
war
in on
wars,
the racial
honestly.
identity
Can
of
we
your
like
opponent?
invade Mexico or something? I don't think there's enough people dying.
I don't care.
I want to drop a bomb on
make a big
Florida.
deal out of
You know,
something.
fuck
I
it. You know,
couldn't
we'll
care
just start one
less.
there.
Whatever she wants to be is okay with me.
But those were your words.
I think
so
I'd be fine with our wars if they were
all
just
I can
more,
say
you
is
know,
I read where she
localized.
was
Like if we just went to war with
not
Cuba,
black.
you know, that'd be sick.
That she put out.
At least,
And
you know, if I go to
I'll
war
say
as a
that,
soldier,
and then
I can
read
at
that
least
she was
invade a
black,
beach
and
and
that's
then have a
okay.
beach
I
day.
know it was
You know,
okay
like
with me.
if I'm gonna invade a country, I don't want to be in some desert. I want to go invade a beach. You know, put on some sunscreen, get a surfboard, fucking invade with some.
I think it's a tragedy that we have someone
you
who
know what I mean.
wants to be president who has consistently, over the course of his career,
Is this going to
attempted
move the
to use
needle?
race to divide
Is
the
this
American
changed anyone's mind
you know,
about
I do believe that
who
the vast
they're voting
majority
for,
of
or
us
if
know
they
that
will
we have
vote?
so much more in common than what separates us, and we don't want
I don't know.
this kind of approach that
I don't
is
know.
just
I don't know what
constantly
people are
trying
thinking
to
watching
divide
this.
us, and especially by race.
I don't think this made Trump look good.
How Donald
But I
Trump
also don't think
started.
that he looked
was a-
bad. He didn't look
a
nearly as gross as he usually
land, he
does,
owned
which
land,
is
he owned
somehow
buildings,
a surprise.
And he was investigated because he refused to rent.
He didn't say a
to
single
black
thing about her look.
Let's
He didn't say a
remember,
single
this
thing
is the
about
same
her
individual
attitude.
who
He didn't say a
took
single
out
thing
a
about
full-page ad in the New York Times,
like her
calling for the
history. She's
execution
like a little bit about her
of
history, but nothing crazy.
young
He's
Black
really
and
been
Latino
withheld.
boys who were innocent, the Central Park Five, took out a full-page ad calling for their execution. This is the same individual.
True, he did do this.
Who spread
She's actually
birther
attacked him a lot
lies
more
about
than
the
he did,
first black
which is
president of the
honestly
United
probably a good
States.
thing.
And I think
She's
the
been on the
American
offensive.
people want better than that. Want better than this.
He's just like,
Someone who understands
she's
as
right.
I do,
She's
I
right.
travel our
I did do that. I did make a racist
We
post
see
saying
in
that I
each
want all
other
the black people to
a
die.
friend. We see
That was a
in
shit
each
post
other
I
a
did do. I
neighbor.
did pay for that
We
ad.
don't want a leader who is constantly trying to have Americans point their fingers at each other. I meet with people all the time who
See,
tell me,
Biden wrote on
can we
or
please just
ran
have
on a
discourse
campaign for
about how we're going
like,
to invest in the aspirations,
working together,
and the ambitions, and the dreams
and now
of the
she's running on a
American people.
campaign of
Knowing that regardless of people's color,
just
or
not
the
going back,
language their
which I think is a
we
bad.
all have the
I mean,
same
she's also saying
dreams and
change, but like
aspirations and
she's
want a
mostly
president
just saying we're
who
not going
invests in
back.
those,
And I don't
not
think that's
in
a
hate
strong
and division.
campaign.
Vice President Harris, thank you. Lindsay?
President Trump, this is now your third time.
This is the most divisive.
Dude, Trump will not shut the fuck
in
up.
the history of our country. There's never been anything like it. They're destroying our country, and they come up with things like.
Dude, he's
what she just
really
said.
harping on the
Going back
immigration.
many years, when a lot of people, including Mayor Bloomberg, agreed with me on the Central Park Five, they admitted, they said, they pled guilty.
He's like, I had to defend myself.
I said, well, if they pled guilty, they badly hurt a person, killed a person, ultimately.
So a lot of people
And if
plead
they
guilty
pled
just so
then
that they could
pled,
get a plea
"We're not
deal in
guilty."
America.
But
Happens all the
this is
time.
a person that has to stretch back years, 40, 50
All right, bye, Cole.
years
Have fun
ago,
in Mexico or
because
wherever you're
there's
going.
nothing
I'm
now.
actually thinking
I
of moving to
built one
Mexico.
of
It
the
sounds like
greatest
a great place to
economies
live.
in the history of the world, and I'm going to build it again. It's going to be bigger, better, and stronger.
Have fun in
But they're
Dominican
destroying
Republic
our
if that's where
economy.
you're
They have
headed. Are you
no
leaving
idea
now?
what a
It's
good
only fucking
economy
Tuesday.
is. Their oil policies, every single policy. And remember
Dominican?
this.
Are you actually
She
leaving
is
now? I thought you were
Biden.
leaving on.
You know,
Oh
she's
yeah.
trying to get away from Biden. I don't know the gentleman.
I thought you were
She
leaving
says
Thursday.
She is Biden. The worst inflation we've ever had.
I know you're on the
A
Dominican Republic.
horrible economy because inflation has made it so bad, and she can't get away with that.
I thought you were just making a joke.
I want to respond to that, though. I want to just respond briefly. Clearly, I am not Joe Biden, and I am certainly not
Then
Donald
bowling?
Trump.
Oof.
And what I do
That's
offer
early,
is a
dude,
new
5 a.m.
generation of leadership for our country.
Well, good luck
One who
working in
believes
bowling.